brought to us by ADB, truly a great and more. Coming up next is the newspaper review. We'll be right back, don't go anywhere. This is the City Breakfast Show.
Why would you want to be caught up in this?
Madam, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, we are trying to resolve
Why can't I use my Visa card here? What is that?
Let me get back to you shortly.
Or this?
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Well, if a party me, I do it well proper. Me no look nobody face, no papa. Clean and up, papa, me waist lead and copper. Man a ragamuffin, not a rapper. Check my settings, can't find no iOS. My ratings stronger than SOS. Girl a fly over for the same old flex. And a data make a next man vex. Cause me do me work. Clean up all the dirt. I no chicken, I no jerk. Just to do me work. People when the sun boy drop it, whole place shot like a rocket. People dead, make the bad man clap it. Watch the girl them a twerk it. People dead, when the sun boy drop it, whole place shot like a rocket. People dead, make the bad man clap it. Watch the girl them twerk it. People baseline alone, I take off people's shoes and sleeper. Make them dance barefoot like Mota Baroka. Batman play, man, I talk about soccer, not snooker. Rockabilly great, not come close, they don't know oka. Down in a Jamaica, they ma dance, they go the creeper. Azonto down, I gonna coupled up with Al-Qaeda. Big nation to the world, me and the leader. Me do up every road and make it feeder. Cause me do me work. Clean up all the dirt.
6:33. Welcome to the newspaper review.
Just do me work.
You're listening to the sounds of Stonebwoy, and he will be live at the Situation Outdoor Party 2022 happening on Saturday, December 24 at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in Accra. Starts at 8 p.m. and it's the all-white Christmas party. Stonebwoy will be there. The Chin Chin Band will be there. Pryor will be there. Aquabwa will be there as well. Get your platinum, diamond, gold, silver, and gold table bookings. Plus, Abiana will be there as well. Charlie, so it's a night of all-round fun and goodness. Call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973. The Situation Outdoor Party is sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Series, Doritos and Lay's, supported by City FM and Ghana Weekend, powered by City TV. This is a Beyond the Return event. Yep. Coming up next is a newspaper review brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Fidelity Bank has the Sikaboom promo for you. There's 100,000 CDs to be won in the grand draw. All you have to do is deposit and maintain 300 CDs and multiples of it in your account, and you could win big. Open your Fidelity account today and make that deposit today. T's and C's apply. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. Total Energy is also bringing us the newspaper review. They are 3-time winners of the Petroleum Company of the Year award given out by the CIMG. They've been inducted into the CIMG's Hall of Fame for petroleum, and they say they'll keep giving you exciting and innovative products and services that meet your needs and expectations. The segment is also brought to us by Kelchaco Toothpaste. Kelchaco Toothpaste, happy smile. Let me welcome Kokwi Salome Hansen after some time away.
It's been a while.
Richard De La Sky. Hi.
Good morning. Morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes,
good morning.
yes.
Good morning. Good morning.
Properly.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Bring it. Say it. Say it.
Kofi for lift. We for raise.
Nathan.
Okay,
We for run the money.
Kokwi and Sky.
Good morning. Charlie? No, Kofi.
No, you see-
the auntie.
Sky, I've missed you.
I miss you too,
Charlie.
Charlie. No,
You
you
know-
deliver the tea. As you do the thing finish, then we always say no, the tea, the Christmas, Charlie. That be the end of the whole Christmas character. Charlie, Charlie,
Charlie.
Charlie.
It was a vibe.
Charlie,
It was a
Charlie,
vibe.
Kofi, you'll be deadly. You'll
No,
be deadly.
Charlie. Sky, thank you.
No, you'll be
for the
deadly.
support.
You'll be deadly. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so now they can't do D2R.
Yeah,
The proper
the situation,
version.
Charlie.
Yeah,
the
that is
situation
what
is
they
gonna
call
be.
the situation. Yeah.
Ha! Stone boy. Oh,
Yeah.
Charlie. No,
Yeah,
listen.
man! People day.
People day.
That will be the situation.
It will be the
There will not be
situation.
any disappointment.
Thank you. Thank you.
The way we
The
advertise
situation-
or something, if it's so, no, the
it'll be
people
so
for sure.
no.
Yeah, it's so no.
If you
We
buy
won't do
VIP,
any haircuts
if you
in the
buy
tea.
platinum table is platinum table.
Yes.
You won't be searching for where your gold table
Charlie,
is.
no, Charlie.
Everything will be pepper.
Charlie.
Come with
That's
your
so
friends.
happy.
Book
No,
your
I can't do
table.
that.
Everything is in Ghana
Thank
cedis.
you.
Do you understand? You know exactly where you're going.
Yep.
Everybody will lead you to where you're supposed to be.
Yes.
You'll get all your drinks.
Thank you.
You'll get your buffet.
Yes.
You'll get your girls. You'll have your stone boy. You'll have your aquabo. You'll have your abiana. You'll have your prior. You'll have everything you want in the situation. Charlie, call the number now.
Yes.
Book your table now
Yes.
before it sells out. We've told you.
Yes. Book in advance.
Sunny FM. So if you haven't already,
Yes.
you only have about 12 days to go.
Yes.
Don't wait till the last minute, please. Book
What
your table.
table mo we?
What race Sunny FM?
That kind of.
Try number.
0205 973 or 0558 973 973.
Yes.
You find that one La Palm Royal Beach Hotel,
Thank you.
24th December.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say all that in Ghana. It'll be too much. 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Dress code.
Yeah.
Yeah. White.
Yo.
Yes. Eyeng. Wo eyeng na kan bile.
Yo.
Platinum.
Yo.
Ke diamond.
Yo.
Ke shika niji
Yo.
gold. Ke silver.
Yo.
Table bookings and seats, you can 0205 973 973.
Yo.
Niji 0 enyo 0 enumo nehu pao yabi ya pao eten nehu pao eten try number.
Yo.
Make your reservations now.
Yo.
Wrap up the year in style.
Yo.
Nah, Ebony condoms, abahabo condom.
Yo.
Ceres, abahabo juice, obado. Doritos, obape chips,
Yo.
Kelays.
Yo.
City FM, City TV,
Yo.
abashabo infuni.
Yo.
Obana hoye TV.
Yo.
No fair about fake. Mini.
Hey. Yo.
Listen, situation 24th December. Be there or be square. You will dance all night long. Obajo, Obala, Obawo Taleye, Omimba Showy, Prior by Jeme, Stone Boy and Baba, Aqua Babala, Abiana Hu.
Yo.
Ona, why would you even dare miss this?
Charlie. No. Honda, zero. Asajerata Indica, zero. Karika Papaya, zero. Sokoto Gudali, zero. Anyway, the Daily Graphic says this morning, discussions on economy. Patriotism must reign supreme. That's according to the president speaking at NAFAC at 60. Also, on the front page this morning, Dufour proposes a rescue team to resolve economic challenges. And rice vegetable cultivation initiative launched.
All right, let's go to the Chronicle. All right, who-born dog?
Charlie.
Accra commando slapped in traffic
Hey.
by 61-year-old pensioner. And the commando they're referring to is our Greater Accra Regional Minister, Mr. Henry Quartey.
I see.
The Honorable. Yeah.
Oh, serious.
Also, 70,000 out-of-school children to be sent back. Alan Cash to pay for NPP delegates' album. We're using agriculture to address unbridled imports, says Ofuriata. And President to NLA, sanitize lottery industry. Also, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 29. Do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you.
The Daily Guide is here this morning. Big story says this morning, Alan storms NPP headquarters, promises to fund albums. Also on the front page this morning, Hannah Besiu Pablo retain seats in NDC. Nana Lords, NLA.
Okay. The Ghanaian Times front page. Don't undermine nation's peace and unity. President urges Ghanaians. And 2023 budget. Parliament races against time to approve budget as minority threatens to reject some tax handles and allocations. File annual returns and renewals or lose your business. This is the Office of the Registrar General. And the Ghana Health Service prompts the public to get COVID-19 jabs to prevent infection at Christmas. You know, around this time of year, you see an uptick in some of the numbers. Also, on the back page, GT Sports, historic as Morocco edged Portugal to book Africa's first semi-final ticket in the FIFA World Cup. And Hurricane misses a penalty in England loss to France.
The final says this morning, commercial agric journey to address unbridled imports begin. That's according to the Minister for Finance, Ken Ofuriata. On the front page, we have the Chief of Staff, Frema Ose Opare, on a tractor doing some plowing here. Also on the front page, CD Post, world's biggest gain against the US dollar, and include compensation land acquisition cost in Abidjan-Lagos Corridor Highway Project, according to Amwako Atta.
Business and Financial Times front page. Miners are unhappy with gold for oil barter policy. Also, little ride-hailing service arrives on December 15th. Government unveils Ghana Cares EEP to create 200,000 jobs. Access to finance will boost trade by $2 billion. Limestone-rich Krobo communities are deprived of development. And IGP eulogizes Dr. Ejipong for multifaceted business feat.
The Herald says this morning, John Mahama doesn't support Asiedu Nketia as NDC National Chairman. Victor Smith reveals as ex-Adenta MP also chases outgoing General Secretary Gidi Gidi. Also on the front page this morning, GMPC lawyers caught cooking illegal $1 million ESB for KK Sapong. Also on the front page this morning, VRA ECG record $709.9 million loss through dirty Gense deal. Pablo and Hanabisiu story retaining the NDC seats they have also on the front page.
The New Crusading Guide front page. Alan surprises NPP to bear cost of printing all 275 constituency delegates' albums. Also, IGP eulogizes Zoomlion CEO for multifaceted business feat. VRA, ECG, Gridco, and Ghana gas workers are angry at the Ministry of Energy over decision on Genser deal. NPP MP appeals to organize labor to support government to revive the economy. And Akufo-Addo charges the NLA to ensure responsible gaming.
Let me take you to the Inquisitor. State land loot. Nocturnal work on ISD land. The people are working in the night. Also on the front page, Dagon Honest Energy Minister today. And also we are told Nanado commends NLA.
The Ghanaian publisher front page, IGP applauds Dr. Japong for his business feats. Lands Minister declares Accra Zoo safe. Alan steps up again, donates 100,000 Ghana cedis and pledges to fund Delegates' album. And the story that's been trending everywhere since yesterday, Wizkid disrespects Ghanaians and organizers promise a refund. Charlie.
The new publisher says this morning, thousands accuse Wizkid of scam. Organizers promise refund. Also, chase clean lotto money. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo speaking. Some other stories on the front page this morning.
And the Anchor newspaper. Defective Ghana card leaves SIM subscribers frustrated. Many can't complete their bio capture even after acquiring the card. Maslock honors J.A. Kufuor on commemoration of its 16th anniversary. Chaos and violence mar the NDC election after acrimonious youth and women's organizer race. And Ifeanyi Akoto denies throwing shade at Akufo-Addo. That's all on the front page of the Anchor newspaper.
Okay, if you go online, citynewsroom.com's stories. Toby Afede writes, our self-inflicted monumental economic crisis.
Sorry.
Interesting. Caprice robbery, 2 armed robbers killed, 1 arrested. Police declare 16 persons wanted over violence at NDC polls, announced 10,000 cedi bounty, and help Akufo-Addo build National Cathedral to avoid shame. That's coming from the Ochin. And don't take loans from these 19 unlicensed firms. That's according to the BOG. So the BOG issuing out a warning.
But if they are licensed, then somebody should be working to close them down. We shouldn't be telling us that we shouldn't. I mean, close if they are there. Some people might not understand this thing. You know, you understand.
So, but they are saying don't take loans from them. That's what they are saying. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, Bloomberg says cedi now world best performing currency.
Really? The thing is at 13 or 12 or something. That's very, very high. You shouldn't be telling us about this something world performing.
Anyway.
Bring the thing to 6 or 5.
Anyway,
let's talk about world best something.
Charlie.
The BOG's warning is also on citybusinessnews.com. DVLA announces guidelines for 2023 vehicle registration. So those who have plans of registering vehicles, be careful or take note. Debt-ridden Ghana cedi post world's biggest gain against US dollar. And IMF and Ghana expected to reach staff level agreement by Tuesday. If you go to citysportsonline.com, Cristiano Ronaldo silent on his future with Portugal national team. Adidas reveals Al Hilm match ball for semis and final. Black Galaxies fight back to Pip Hearts in friendly clash. And on the basketball side of things, Ben Bento delivers MVP performance in Red Star Belgrade league win. And Hurricane says he'll live with the missed penalty against France. Yeah, he has to live with that. Okay, if you go to myjoyonline.com, let's not bring shame upon our country. And the president, Ocheni pleads for support to build National Cathedral. That I find really interesting. Parliament's Legal Affairs Committee chair says Ofori-Atta's exit will deepen public confidence in economy. And I'm not aware of Akufo-Addo's meeting with majority caucus over Ofori-Atta's dismissal. That's according to Ayimedu entry. And also in Parliament, it says minority should have withdrawn censure motion. That's according to the same MP, Ayimedu entry. Plus, Wizkid apologizes for failing to show up at debut live concert in Accra. Charlie, over the weekend, that was what was hot and trendy. All right, let's get into the story.
Okay, so let me take off this morning with a daily graphic. 2 quick stories, discussions on economy, patriotism, must reign supreme, the president speaking. And from Cape Coast, Shelley Asiedu Addo reporting for the Daily Graphic says President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has called for more selfless, patriotic approaches to discussions around the economy and other areas of development. Now, he said that it was time to eschew extreme political partisanship in discussions around the economy and look to attaining the collective success and well-being of ordinary Ghanaians. Now, the president said now, more than ever, the economy was in need of patriotic citizens who were ready to put the well-being of the country above selfish interests. Now, the president was speaking at the opening of the 60th anniversary celebrations of the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFAC, in Cape Coast in the Central Region last Saturday. Now, let me take you to the other story, which is on page 16. Dr. Dufo proposes rescue team to resolve economic challenges. Now, Samuel Dodu, writing for the Graphic, says this morning, a former Minister of Finance, Dr. Kwabena Dufo, has proposed the establishment of a national economic rescue team to help find immediate and lasting solutions to the current economic challenges. Now, he said, a depth of the economic crisis and the ongoing attempt to restructure the domestic debt towards economic or microeconomic stability and recovery of the economy call for the establishment of an economic recovery team. There's a direct quote here that says, this is so because it has been established that no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created the problems. Hence, there is a need for the establishment of an economic national rescue team to resolve the present crisis.
Okay. I'm going to go to...
Yes, I just wanted to give you an adjoining story. This on citybusinessnews.com, and it says, Cedi now world best performing currency. That's according to Bloomberg. The story says, last week, the Ghanaian cedi was recorded as the best performing currency in the world. This short burst of positive momentum is as a result of Ghana's plan to reorganize its local debt. The story says the report is courtesy of Bloomberg, which revealed that the rise in currency value is coming alongside optimism of realizing the $3 billion bailout the country has been requesting from the IMF for months. On the IMF bit, the citynewsroom.com is saying that the IMF and the country is expected to reach a staff level agreement by Tuesday. Okay, so that is the update there in terms of the economy. So we should expect to hear a lot more from the powers that be on the IMF and what it has in store for the country.
Okay, let's go to the Ghana Health Service. This is in the Ghanaian Times this morning. And it's important because we know the festive season is here. There are so many events going on. And the GHS is prompting the public to get COVID-19 jabs to prevent infection at Christmas. So the Ghana Health Service has entreated unvaccinated and partially vaccinated members of the public to get their COVID-19 jabs to guard against infection during the Yuletide. Normally, we get a spike in cases in January because lots of human activities happen during the festive season. But we can reduce that with vaccination. The best time to vaccinate is now. The best gift you can give yourself, your family, and loved ones this Christmas is to vaccinate against COVID-19 so we can all stay protected. The Director General of GHS, Dr. Patrick Kumu-Abuaji, advised. He was speaking at the launch of the 5th round of the National COVID-19 Vaccination Days campaign in Accra on Friday. The exercise begins on Wednesday, 14th of December. It goes to Sunday, December 18th, and it targets administering at least 1.4 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines nationwide. It will cover all eligible persons from 15 years and above, including pregnant women, with over 6,000 vaccination teams scheduled to carry out the exercise using static and mobile strategies to reach unvaccinated persons. Now, Dr. Kumu-Abuaji said, although uptake of the COVID-19 vaccines have been impressive, there's still the need to reach all persons to achieve herd immunity in the country. With the first, second, third, and fourth rounds of these campaigns, the total number of administered doses at the end of November 2022 is about 21 million doses. Over 12 million people currently in Ghana have had at least one dose. Over 9 million are fully immunized, but Director General says the end is far from sight. The virus is unpredictable. A large proportion of the population who are eligible remain unvaccinated. And he says vaccination is the most effective way of protecting us against the disease. So let's all do our part in order to stop its negative impact on all of us.
Okay, great. Let's get back to the economy. Nathan mentioned something much earlier. Togbi Afede has made some very important call in a long epistle to government and Ghanaians. And somewhere in the conclusions, he makes specific recommendations that he says we must be looking at. For instance, as an alternative, government could decide the following quickly and make projections of revenue and expenditure accordingly to form the basis of a new strategy in debt negotiations. 1, implementation of the most drastic measures necessary to rein in corruption. 2, increase of taxes on high-income earners, companies, and poverty. Introduction of taxes on income from tax-exempt government domestic bill and bond investments. 3, immediate reintroduction of road tolls at much higher rates than they were in the past. Suspension, that is 5. 5 says suspension of non-essential new capital projects. And then also suspension of funding of non-essential and unproductive projects like the National Cathedral. And then also, he says, implementation of other expenditure reduction measures to affect, among others, a number of political appointments, allowances paid to public sector employees, foreign scholarships, foreign travel, vehicle procurement, and end-of-service benefits. Goes on to say, feeding of non-essential capital expenditure by major state-owned enterprises and enhancement of their dividend payments to government. And finally, the 9th one says, support of private sector investment in infrastructure projects. And finally, the 10th says, sale of non-strategic state assets. And he concludes by saying, the dangers we faced were evident, and these measures could have been implemented at least a year ago if we had not been in denial. And he goes on to conclude very positively.
Okay. All right. Talking about National Cathedral quickly. The Ochin Osajifo Amorite for Repaying the Second has called on Ghanaians to support the building of the cathedral so that the president is not embarrassed. He was speaking to the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral on Friday, and he urged them to do whatever, all they could, to ensure that the cathedral would be built to the glory of God.
So it's more about presidential embarrassment, not about whether we have the money to pay
He
for it.
says we should build it, and that if we build it, it will be
The
good.
president will not
Okay,
be embarrassed.
two quick stories
Yes,
very
of course,
quickly.
yes,
So
yes.
in the Chronicle, first of all, Accra Commando slapped in traffic. Speaking about the regional minister, Henry Quartey, apparently an Accra Circuit Court presided over by Samuel Bright Aqua has advised that the security detail of the Greater Accra regional minister should be changed following an alleged assault on him by his family head. So this is what happened. On December the 8th, 2022, at about 1:10 p.m., Mr. Quartey, together with the security detail, were visiting Osu. On reaching a section of the road, he observed that the accused had blocked it with his Kia Bongo car, preventing the minister and others from accessing the road. The court was informed that the complainant signaled the accused to give way to him and the other road users, but he refused and retorted that nobody can access the road unless he finishes with what he's doing. The action of the accused person created heavy traffic jam on that stretch of the road. Based on that, the Honourable Minister decided to advise the accused person to move his car from the road, but the accused ignored the regional minister. According to the prosecution, he rather became violent and threatened the minister and said if he gets close to him, he'll kill him. In addition to the threat, the accused resorted to using offensive words, including a claim that he's a thief and has stolen state money but is moving freely. In a sequence of events, the accused later abandoned the vehicle in the middle of the road, locked it, removed the ignition key, kept it in his pocket, rushed on the regional minister, and slapped him. It was at this instance that the security detail of the minister, who the court suggests should be changed, moved in swiftly to arrest the accused person. And then finally, very quickly, Wizkid disrespects Ghanaians. This is in the Ghanaian Publisher. Organizers of the Wizkid Live in Accra concert held at the stadium. They're saying that all persons who bought attendance tickets will have a full refund after the event ended without any performance whatsoever from the headline artist Wizkid, Nigerian superstar. Yeah, so we'll talk about that
I saw
later
a
on.
video. The person said, look, because of my asset, the team is not coming well. So he wanted to change that.
We'll get into that later. Thank you, Kokwi. Thank you, Richard. That was the newspaper review. Coming up next is the City Business News.
This is the City Breakfast Show.
City 97.3. Twitter at twitter.com/City973. And Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Coming up next is the City Business News, brought to us by Access Bank. And Access Bank is bringing you the triple salary promo. Switch your salary account to Access Bank's Empower Salary account today and automatically enjoy free interest on payday loan, pick now, pay later loan, fly now, pay later loan, and other personal loans. There are great goodies to be won if you do so. T's and C's apply. Visit ghana.accessbankplc.com to get started. Access Bank, more than banking. And the City Business News also brought to us by Goyle, MTN, and Enterprise Life. Michael Obodu is here with the City Business News.
Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, Enterprise Life, your advantage, Access Bank, more than banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. Coming up, Ghana expected to reach a staff-level agreement with the International Monetary Fund by tomorrow, December 13, 2022. Also, prices on the market are expected to drop soon as Ghana Union of Traders Associations GUTA urges members to review prices due to the recent stability of the local currency. My name is Michael Obodu, and to details of our stories now. Ghana is expected to reach a staff-level agreement with the International Monetary Fund by Tuesday, December 13, 2022. According to Reuters, even though the fund has not commented on the issue, 3 sources with knowledge of the ongoing talks have confirmed. The agreement will make way for the board of the fund to negotiate and possibly approve a program for the country. Government has already begun restructuring the country's debt, a critical step in reaching a deal with the IMF to start a program. Here's the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, earlier last week expressing optimism that Ghana would reach a staff-level agreement with the International Monetary Fund soon for a program aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability and protecting the marginalized.
This is the path towards resetting the economy to a more stable one capable of addressing the development challenges of the country. The reasons are quite clear. COVID-19 pandemic, rising global food prices, rising crude oil and energy prices, and the Russia-Ukraine war adversely affected Ghana's macroeconomy. To address the ongoing economic crisis, the government has requested financial support from the International Monetary Fund. We expect to reach a staff-level agreement soon on an IMF program aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability and protecting the most vulnerable. To this end, as a government, we are determined to implement wide-ranging structural and fiscal reforms to restore fiscal and debt sustainability and support growth.
That was the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. The Ghana Union of Traders Associations GUTA is urging government to do more to sustain the recent stability experienced with the cedi. The local currency is currently selling at about 12 cedis 50 pesos to the dollar after trading at about 16 Ghana cedis a couple of months ago. This resulted in the hike in prices of commodities in the country, with diesel, for instance, selling at about 24 Ghana cedis a gallon at a point, sharply increasing the cost of living. President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, however, urged the trading community to review their prices to reflect the appreciation of the cedi.
The value of the cedi has appreciated lately, and we appreciate the government and the Bank of Ghana for stabilizing the local currency. We will, however, want to encourage government to do even more to sustain these gains that we are having now. Having said this, we want to appeal to the trading community to adjust prices accordingly, even though we admit that most of us have bought the forex at higher prices earlier. But we should be able to track the necessary averages so that the consuming public will also feel the impact of this positive trend. It is very important especially at this time that we are going for the Christmas festivities, so that the consuming public will also be compensated to enjoy this festive occasion.
President of the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng. Meanwhile, economist Karit Boti has attributed recent developments on the market, such as the central bank's decision to stop financing non-essential imports, among others, to the local city's current improvement. In an interview with City Business News, Karit Boti noted that news of government's ability of securing an IMF staff-level agreement soon will boost investor confidence and strengthen the city further.
We are getting hints that a staff-level agreement is imminent. That is actually a major development because you need that balance of payment program to begin to inspire hope again and then try to send a message of some correction in the year to come. And so once that is announced, you can be rest assured that probably the portfolio reversal side of the equation, which has been a main problem, could maybe tame a bit or calm down a bit. And now, because of the test change, there are no avenues being to sell. So that side is already mute in the first place. But the balance payment support, and the most important part of that is that if you realize that in 2023 is looking to raise all of the financing from the external market to concessional financing. Those are mostly coming in dollars, right? And so if succeed at that, and it is the IMF program that can unlock that. So if they succeed at that, what it does is a significant boost to the reserve, and in addition to probably whatever measures that are in place now and all the intentions to maybe manage oil purchases with gold and all of that, we could see some stability through 2023. That is if the program is in place.
That was an economist and research lead with GCB Capital, Karit Boti. And still on the local currency, an upgraded version of the 1 Ghana Cedi coin with enhanced security features will from today be available to the public. The Bank of Ghana had announced an upgrade on the 1 Ghana Cedi coin with enhanced security features. The coin, according to the central bank, is similar to the existing 1 Ghana Cedi coin in shape, form, and images. The coat of arms is in front and the scale of justice at the back. The central bank stated that the existing and the upgraded 1 Ghana Cedi coins will co-circulate until the exiting coin is gradually withdrawn. The bank encourages the public to accept the coins and use them. Here's the governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison.
We announced that we were going to cease printing 1 Cedi notes and use just coins because we thought that the coins were more durable and the 1 Cedi notes get soiled very quickly. A lot of those that are in circulation are even giving problems to our currency processing machines because these notes are so dirty and there are so many of them. But I think there were a lot of people who thought otherwise. But we are upgrading the 1 Ghana Cedi coin. And so you will see more 1 Ghana Cedi coins in circulation. I know that currently it's a bit difficult to find them, but very soon, hopefully, during the Christmas, that problem will be resolved. You will see more 1 Ghana Cedi coins going about.
You heard the governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison. On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar lost 34 pesos and is selling at 12 cedis 56 pesos. The British pound lost 35 pesos and is selling at 15 cedis 40 pesos. The euro also lost 33 pesos and is selling at 13 cedis 23 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus, the dollar is selling at 12 cedis 90 pesos, the British pound at 16 cedis 55 pesos, and the euro is selling at 13 cedis 15 pesos. Now, as part of efforts towards improving business education in the country and bringing it at par with the international scene, the University of Ghana Business School has launched a 3-year strategic plan. The strategic plan, with a value of about $250 million, is anchored on 8 pillars, with, among others, include excellence in teaching and learning, excellence in research, and efficient financial management. Speaking to journalists on the sidelines of the launch, Dean of the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Justice Baole, said the move has been necessitated as a result of the aftershocks of the COVID-19 pandemic.
One of the things that is typically our stock in trade is to ensure that organizations are managed well. One of the critical ingredients for managing organizations well is for the organization to have a strategy. And so strategic planning is critical to business and management. And as a school that teaches strategy and the fact that organizations should be managed strategically, we cannot do any less. And so for the past couple of years, we have made the effort to actually design a strategy and to ensure that that strategy is what we live by and that drives our development.
Professor Justice Baole is the Dean of the University of Ghana Business School. Let's now join Gideon Amweniche of Data Bank for the latest updates on the stock market.
At the end of last week's trading session on the Ghanaian stock market, the benchmark Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index closed lower week on week, increasing its year-to-date loss to 11.78%. The Data Bank Free Float Index similarly moved down week on week, widening its year-to-date loss to 13.44%. Out of 22 stocks that traded last week, there were 2 decliners and no gainer. New Gold lost 54 cedis 9 pesos to 202 cedis 71 pesos, while Unilever Ghana shed 47 pesos to 4 cedis 31 pesos. This week, we expect the share prices of Gold Ghana and Cowbank to decline due to selling pressures.
That was Gideon Amweniche of Data Bank. And that does it for the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goal Enterprise Life, Your Advantage, Access Bank, More Than Banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Michael Obudu. Thank you for listening. Have a good business day, and as always, please stay safe.
Jack, you know my boss owns a fleet of commercial cars, and he drives only brand new vehicles. Latest.
$7:13. Coming up next is Kickoff. Wrap of the latest from the world of sports. Brought to us by Let's Show. Have you updated your records? Remember that the Ghana card is not the only accepted ID for all financial transactions. So visit any Lesheho branch near you to update your records with your Ghana card so you are served faster and better. You can send a WhatsApp message to 0574065958 or call 0302 208 333. Lesheho, let's improve lives. All right, let's get into kickoff. Benjamin Nketiah is here. He's got all the latest.
And let's get straight into the headlines. France to play Morocco, while Argentina go up against Croatia in the semi-finals of the ongoing Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. The Black Galaxy step up preparations for the CHAN tournament with a friendly against Accra Hearts of Oak. And in the NBA, there were wins for the Pelicans, the LA Lakers, and the New York Knicks. And let's start off from the camp of the Black Galaxies, and they defeated Accra Hearts of Oak by 2-1 in a friendly match which was played at the Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence in Pram Pram yesterday. Brighter J and David Abagna Sandan scored 2 quick-fire goals for the national team after Amankwa Befi had given the Phobians the lead. Now, coach Anna Walker's team is likely to play one high-profile international friendly before the 2023 CHAN in Algeria. Meanwhile, Black Galaxies midfielder David Abagna has described their preparations for the upcoming tournament as satisfactory.
We've camped for a while now, and I think initially the training sessions we started gradually, and it's been intensified like some few days or a week ago, with we playing a lot of friendly games. So preparation has been good so far. So far so good. Everything has been fine. Where we sleep, where we eat, and everything has been good. The training too has been good. There are new faces, and we haven't known each other like in personal terms, and we've gotten closer to people we play against in the leagues, and it's a chance for us to get to know ourselves, and we are doing that quite well.
So you heard Black Galaxy's midfielder David Abagna Sandan speaking there. Now, Black Galaxy's winger Jonah Atukwe also acknowledged that the team is well prepared for the CHAN tournament. Ghana is paired with Madagascar, Sudan, and Morocco in Group C.
I think we are well prepared, but for now we are just waiting for the D-Day to come so that we can do it. We can move to OGS and see what happens there. We've been here for some few weeks, and we had a friendly game yesterday. It wasn't bad, though we won. It was a hard fought, but it wasn't bad. And I think we will play more games before moving to OGS, and I think that are also among the preparation towards the CHAN tournament. And I think I won't say much, but I hope being in OGS will be something good for us, because we are well prepared here.
Jonah Atukwe plays for Ghana's Black Galaxies. Let's get to some other news. And there were some friendly matches that were also played across the country. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they drew goalless with Division 1 side Bofakwa Tano at the Sunyani Coronation Park. Real Tamale United, they lost 2-1 to lower tier side Kumbung Bimbiem FC in the Na Bewa Charity Cup played at the Aliu Mahama Stadium in Tamale. The Premier League clubs are fine-tuning their teams towards the resumption of the Bet Power League, which starts from Monday, December 19, 2022. Let's get to some national team related stuff. An ex-Black Stars player, Yawa Champon, has backed Chris Hughton to be named as the next Black Stars head coach. Now, Hughton played an advisory role to Otoado, who resigned from the Black Stars technical team after the side's group exit at the World Cup. In a City Sports interview, Yawa Champon believes the ex-Brighton and Hove Albion manager has enough quality to lead the senior national team to success in future.
Yeah, I think he's well experienced, and he knows the field very, very well. He knows the terrain very, very well. So I believe giving him the chance with the support. Again, without the support, one man can never do it. With support, I believe he can deliver for us. But we have to do everything fast. our problem is we always wait till the last minute before we say we are doing this, we are doing this, we are doing this. We have to start from now. Though there is not next year, but we have to start preparing whatever we want to prepare from now. With the help of everyone, I believe we can turn things around.
So you heard ex-Black Stars forward Yao Champon speaking there. Let's get to the World Cup proper and let's catch up with the quarterfinals that were played over the weekend. Now, England were up against France and it was England who were left in tears. They lost that game by 2-1. Harry Kane missing a crucial penalty in that particular defeat to the Three Lions. Let's get to some reactions and let's start off from the camp of the French. Olivier Giroud plays for Le Bleu and he has been reacting.
Yeah, narrow win, definitely. We knew it's going to be a tough game, and this kind of game you have to be efficient in the boxes, in your own box, and in their box. We've been a bit lucky, obviously. Kane missed the penalty, but we kept believe till the end. We've been very strong all together defensively. And we play with the heart, I used to say, rest believe. I had a good chance on Usman head back, but Pickford made a good save, and I really believe that I will have another one. And Antoine crossed very well the ball, and I was there, and I just tried to hit the target, and what a feeling.
Olivier Giroud sharing what it feels like to qualify to the semi-finals. Jordan Henderson plays for England's Three Lions. He has also been speaking following that particular game.
It's hard to now, straight after the game. It's difficult to find the right words. I thought we'd give everything in the game. Disappointed to go 1-0 down, but I thought the character and the mentality to keep going in the second half and find the equaliser. So I can't say any more, really. You'll give it everything, and unfortunately it wasn't our night.
Yeah, that second chance to equalise, obviously. What can you say about Harry's penalty?
We know how many penalties Harry scored for us. Scored the first one. How many goals he's contributed for us to even get here. So he'll be stronger for it in the long run, I'm sure. But he's a world-class striker, our captain, and like I say, we wouldn't be here without him.
So you had Jordan Henderson. He plays for England's Three Lions there. In the game between the Netherlands and Argentina, it ended 2-2 after extra time. Argentina won that game 4-3 on penalties. And then it was Morocco making history for the African continent, beating Portugal by 1-0. Let's get some reaction from the Moroccans. Let's get to Sofiane Amrabat. He spoke about being proud for a moment like this.
Unbelievable! It's a great game. It's really, really, really unbelievable. I'm so proud. It's like we dream. All life like we dream. Unbelievable. We are in the half final. Alhamdulillah. You fight. You play with heart. You show your talent. I think you deserve to be in the semi-final. We deserve this 1000%. Like how we fight, how we play with the heart for our country, for the people. It's unbelievable. Like our spirit. We have injuries. The game, 3 defenders in. How they defend. Big respect for everybody, for the staff, for the coach.
Sofiane Amrabat speaking there. In the other game played, Brazil played out a 1-1 draw with Croatia after extra time. The Croats winning 4-2 on penalties. So the semi-finals is set. France will be up against Morocco. Argentina will be up against Croatia. Big games coming up in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Let's finish off with some basketball. There were some big games happening over the weekend. The Pelicans were up against the Suns and they have opened up a little rivalry of some sorts. In the end, the Pelicans had too much for the Phoenix Suns. 129-124 is how it ended. The Suns were missing Devin Booker in that game. The Lakers were on the road against the Detroit Pistons, and the Lakers picking up a road win, 124-117. The New York Knicks were at the Madison Square Garden. They beat the Kings 112-99. Orlando grabbed a rare win over the Toronto Raptors, 111-99 is how that game ended. The Sixers won against the Hornets. The Chicago Bulls continued to struggle, losing by a single point to the Atlanta Hawks, and then the Rockets also recording a very rare win against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. 97-92 is how that particular game ended. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. My name is Benjamin Nketiah. Kickoff has been brought to you by Leshego. There's more sports at citysportsonline.com.
Trust the process. The biggest things of
we are resorting to more expensive chemicals to be able to get to be able to reduce the process losses. If you go to Odaso, if we're not using the polyelectrolyte, we might not have been able to even get up to 30% of the water to send to Obuasi. But with the use of the polyelectrolyte, we are doing about 50%. And so at every time you have to increase costs. If you are using the aluminum sulfates, you will have to use, the more aluminum sulfate you put in your water, the more other chemicals that you put in to correct your pH level. So at all times, the costs continue to go very, very high. And I think that if PURC can allow us to pass on the cost to the citizens, yes, politically it might have some implications. But when people begin to see the cost, I'm sure we'll all go onto the rivers and directly get the people who are doing that damage away. If we don't take that seriously, I'm sure even our rivers will die.
What is the worst case scenario we will see in the next 6 months if we don't stop this now? You've said 100% in some areas polluted, 60 some.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario with regards to our water security as a country in the next 6 months?
The immediate one will be that probably we will not get treated water from Ghana Water Company. They will have to shut down. The long term is that most of their equipments will be destroyed forever and they have to bring in, so it goes back to the investments. But apart from just us getting water to drink, agriculture is affected already. We are going to have food security issues, not just water security. Economic growth will suffer. We are already in a system where we are struggling to see how best we can come out of this. So it is a complete system.
What is the worst case scenario we will see in the next 6 months if we don't stop this now? You've said 100% in some areas polluted, 60 some.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario with regards to our water security as a country in the next 6 months?
The immediate one will be that probably we will not get treated water from Ghana Water Company. They will have to shut down. The long term is that most of their equipments will be destroyed forever and they have to bring in, so it goes back to the investments. But apart from just us getting water to drink, agriculture is affected already. We are going to have food security issues, not just water security. Economic growth will suffer. We are already in a system where we are struggling to see how best we can come out of this. So it is a complete system.
What is the worst case scenario we will see in the next 6 months if we don't stop this now? You've said 100% in some areas polluted, 60 some.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario with regards to our water security as a country in the next 6 months?
The immediate one will be that probably we will not get treated water from Ghana Water Company. They will have to shut down. The long term is that most of their equipments will be destroyed forever, and they have to bring in, so it goes back to the investments. But apart from just us getting water to drink, agriculture is affected already. We are going to have food security issues, not just water security. Economic growth will suffer. We are already in a system where we are struggling to see how best we can come out of this. So it is a complete system.
Me, so she go give me some more. Yi da ka kwenye nyonu vi min sumalo. My present she love me. Beep. I love you more. Cause from the ghetto where we born and grow. And you are the only one that I know. My ghetto girl. I love you more. Cause from the ghetto where we born and grow now. You are the only one that I know. My ghetto boy. Oh, see, free and up, cause you're not you. Why drink when you cool me? Oh girl, you know I can't do nothing without you, and from the things you do to me, my baby, makes me wanna be with you.
Anyway, that's why you alone represent the wood in a fire. Go pull in the length to give you whatever you desire. Lifetime service, now we not gonna retire. We pushing up, yeah. Hold my hands, let's play and dance together now, cause you are my baby.
Ooh, yeah. Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is
She prefers to
97.
get to life, so that's the life them living in the estates. I'm gonna be my wife, so she not gonna break no rules that I state. Together like the sea and shore, stuck for eternity and yes for sure. I just a party and for more, and don't bother about another girl but more. My girl, from the ghetto where we born and grow, it's only our kind of love we know. Nothing gonna stop us now. We loving us till we grow.
My boy, from the ghetto where we born and grow, it's only our kind of love we know. Nothing's gonna stop us, no. We're loving us till we go. Oh,
The city's biggest conversation.
I love you more. Come from the ghetto where we born and grow, and you are the only one that I know. My ghetto girl.
I love you more. Cause from the ghetto where we're born and grow, and you are the only one that I know. You're my ghetto boy. Friana pa, kosiana ju, kwane kumi. Oh boy, you know I can't do nothing without you, and all the things you do to me, my baby, makes me wanna be with you. Oh, that's why you alone represent the wood and I'm fire. I go pull any land to give you what you desire. Lifetime service, none of we are gonna retire. We're reaching up high. Hold my hand, let's play and dance together. Cause you are my love, yeah.
I love you more. Cause from the ghetto where we born and grow, and you are the only one that I know. My ghetto girl.
I love you more. Cause from the ghetto where we born and grow, and you are the only one that I know.
My ghetto girl too strong. Fire like a sun blinks. She deals with the truth and natural things. Clean heart, pure love, no dirty things. I put her above all my things. That's why when other man them come in and them try act funny, she side by me, she not want them money. And always complain of a boy named Tony that chase about her with him Lamborghini out. But what them do not know, in her system my blood flows. This girl yeah, I'm me everything, the one I'm cherishing, my love, my life, my soul. She alone qualifies to be my own. My black diamond out of slow. No matter what them I go do, I do you won't go on me do. Oh my girl,
7:33. It's still the City Breakfast Show. The messages are welcome on 0549 986 996.
My boy from the ghetto where we born and grow.
This one says a happy birthday, happy third birthday wish to Nanaya Ampofo from his grandpa, mom, and the rest of his family.
From the ghetto where we born and grow. And you the only one that I know.
This one says happy blessed 40th birthday to Deaconess Mrs. Dorothy Boachidankwa, CEO of Dorothy's Wardrobe Community 25. From your sister Marian Kuchienyo, Lawrence Kuchienyo, and the entire Kuchienyo and Kwejer families.
And you are the only one that I know. My ghetto girl.
Belated birthday to Mr. Patrick Yao Oche, manager of Kofredria Modern Laundry. From your children Isaac, Adjoa, and Jaden, and from your workers too.
And a very, very happy birthday to a very special Ghanaian entrepreneur. He has a heart of gold. He's a wonderful person. His name is Anthony Jamatha. He is the founder and CEO of Caveman Watches. Anthony, happy birthday. God bless you for all that you do to help people, and may the Caveman brand grow bigger and better. We really appreciate you. Anthony Jamatha, enjoy your birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Anthony.
Also wishing a happy birthday to Eddie Kuman Noy of Tema International School, coming in from your wife Valeria, the children and the whole family. We appreciate and love you. Many more great birthdays ahead.
This one says, I'm the luckiest man in the world simply because the heavens have blessed me with an absolutely phenomenal woman like you. The message is coming from Augustine Asante to Abigail Nyama. Few more birthday messages coming in.
My ghetto girl too strong. For your black sun blinks, she deals with the truth.
This one says happy birthday
Clean heart, pure love.
to Sean Jesse Ni Otumea Hyde.
That's why when the man them coming and them
He's 8 today actually. And the message is coming from Peter and Beatrice from his little brother Brian Meyer Hyde of Salem Estates.
But what
This one says happy birthday to Father Matthias of St. Rose's SHS.
this girl, yeah,
That's coming from Tete Meridian.
with a burn under the sun, but still give Jaja the glory. Well then. Sometimes he be doctor, now they carry. Meet by bra, I they rush, I they hurry. Hey, that about for what he be like, say, Kaya yo, I go marry. Anyway, waiting be my home. I'm not in this alone. Because somebody they sweat for the air condition, he below me the home. Send me the mitibu boom, that's a one day me, that's a one day me, when I'm done when I want a better titi. A lot of mercy, send me the mitibu boom, that's a one day me, that's a one day me, when I'm done when I want a better
7:37. Still listening to the City Breakfast Show. Your messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. Your favorite Verna water is now the #1 water brand in Ghana today. It's an award-winning brand certified by ISO and Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points. Verna water is approved and acknowledged by the FDA and the Ghana Standards Authority. And it's produced by Twillium Industrial Company Limited, the pride of the Ghanaian beverage industry. As the end of the year and planning has already started for the festivities, your shopping list is long. No shorty cash. SG Ghana is here to sort you out. Spend 500 cedis or more.
The rich man die, no matter what you say, the poor man die.
When you shop for friends and loved ones and receive an attractive cashback reward. Get in touch with SG on 0302 214 314. Promo ends on December 31. Remember, with Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you. T's and C's apply. Everyone is unique, just like our fingerprints or DNA. Our uniqueness makes us all special. Every single person, whoever you are, remember to keep shining in your own special way. Just like Indomie is like no other, be like no other. Indomie tastes great.
Anyway, waiting be my home. I'm not in this alone. Because somebody they sweat for the air condition, he below me the home. Send me the mitibu boom, that's a one day me, that's a one day me,
Hustler never envy another man. No. Hustler never envy another soul. Cause you never know whatever you plan. But who know I go reap whatever you sow. And then be happy for the people who succeed. Because everything that you wish for them, the same you receive. Karma is a man you can deceive. Success is a state of mind, don't be caught up in greed. No matter what you do, the rich man die. No matter what you say, the poor man dies too. We are hustling, but for a while, someday we are going to fade away.
Still listening to the City Breakfast. Your messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. Now, earlier, when we're doing the newspaper review, I read a very interesting story. Bloomberg said the Ghana City had been doing very well in the last few days. They actually said the Ghana City was now the world's best performing currency, at least over the last week.
Oh, nice. What percentage increase?
Well,
they didn't say. I'll find it.
Yes,
but that's
good.
It
was on citybusinessnews.com.
So over the past week,
over the past week,
our currency has been the best performing.
Mm-hmm.
That is great news.
Yep, it is. Now it means that
how are the sellers responding this time? Because when the currency was not doing well, they were quick to give us lecture notes about how even if they bought the thing at 7 cedis to the dollar, because it's now 14, when they are going to pay, it will be 14. So we won't get any windfall.
We won't get anything. But it looks like things may change. The Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, is appealing to its members to adjust the prices of their goods and services following an appreciation of the cedi.
Wow.
Now, GUTA says its observation of the cedi in the last few days reveals that the currency is stabilizing or it's stable. Clement Obing, he's vice chairman of GUTA, and he urged traders to reduce the prices of their goods and services. And he's also asking the government to work on ensuring.
I actually have the story here.
Yeah, the currency is, built muscle.
So let's hear Clement. But I have the evidence. Okay, let me give you the story first. Maybe it will what do you call it? It will give you the background to the conversation. So Ekodonto Yinka. Some lady called Yinka Ibukun and Moses Mozajau wrote the story. But actually, no, I don't have the story. This is the October version of the story. So it's not the latest story. I'll find the story.
Okay, let's listen to Clement Boateng. Clement Boateng. When we come back, we'll go through what exactly the Bloomberg portal is saying.
About 2 months ago, we all saw the way and manner the city was, depreciating at a very, fast rate. That time around, it wasn't even on a daily basis or maybe weekly basis, but even the city was depreciating on an hourly basis. And we all saw what happened as traders and business community, continue to, adjust their prices, to reflect the trend of the city depreciation. And there was a whole lot of, talk about how prices was escalating. And we think for some time now, the city has seen some stability, even though we expect it, to appreciate further. And we think it is incumbent on us as an association to try as much as possible to advise our members to, adjust their prices, a bit, to reflect the current stability of the city that we have.
So that was Clement Boateng. Clement Boateng is vice chairman of GUTA. Now, if you go to citybusinessnews.com, that's where the story is. So the story reads, last week, the Ghanaian cedi was recorded as the best performing currency in the world. This short burst of positive momentum is as a result of Ghana's plan to reorganize its debt. Okay, this report is courtesy Bloomberg, which revealed that the rise in currency value was coming alongside optimism of realizing the $3 billion bailout the country had been requesting from the IMF for months. The report says, quote, the cedi has rallied 10% in the past 5 days, the biggest advance among about 150 currencies tracked by Bloomberg. That's a turnaround for an exchange rate that had lost half of its value this year and occupied the bottom slot in the charts. Now the story goes on to say the currency was the cheapest in Africa, more than 30% undervalued versus its 25-year history last week. So some rebound after the huge fall recently isn't that surprising. That's according to Charles Robertson, the global chief economist at Renaissance Capital Limited in London. Also, we have the IMF in town, which should pave way for dollar support.
So you're talking about a week of good performance.
Yes. Yeah. The story is dated December 12, 2022, and of course, it made a reference to a 5-day window as it turned out.
So we probably have to keep a longer eye on the currency. But I find it interesting that the the GUTA is asking their members to reduce prices. I'm not sure if that's going to work, because I'm sure they will find every reason to tell you that, the stock we bought, the dollar that we bought it for was X amount. So I'm not sure that's the way to go. I think if you want to really understand our currency's travails, we've discussed this many times. You read Toby Apeda's article. He wrote a 14-page article, which I got this morning. And he in our discussions, we've always spoken about the fiscal side, spoken about the finance minister's side. But he also takes a lot of issue with the monetary side. He actually blames the Bank of Ghana's monetary policy. He says the inflation targeting policy targets historical inflation, not expected inflation. And that actually worsens the plight of the city. We can discuss that later. But I'm not sure I've ever seen prices come down in Ghana. Apart from fuel prices that they announced that they will reduce. Like last month, they reduced fuel prices a bit.
Or control prices in the military region.
Yeah. I wasn't old enough to understand because I wasn't earning any income then. But since I started earning income, I don't know anything which price has come down.
And it's
anything that which price has since like things you buy with your money, apart from petrol.
Yeah, that one.
Or maybe Ghanaian sellers don't understand. They don't understand reduced price.
As you said, when the cedi was failing woefully against the dollar, we bore the brunt of it, we the consumer. We were told that prices had to be increased because when they're going to buy new stock, they'll have to find more dollars. So fine, we had to pay for that. Now we're told that the cedi has rallied against the dollar, but we're still going to probably pay high prices because now we're being told that, the stock that we bought, we had to pay so much for it. So we can't reduce the prices for you now because we already spent so much acquiring those goods. So if we reduce prices, we'll lose. So it's like, it's a no-win situation for the consumer in the end. What do you understand?
But let's also sort of be fair to say that this is just a 5-day rally. All right. So if you look at the performance of the currency since January, October last year, you could buy $1 for 6 cedis.
Yes.
Now it's still around 13. I'm not sure of the final figure. It's definitely more than double. It's about double what it was a year ago. So we need to put that in perspective. The 5-day rally of 10% is not really. I feel sometimes headlines can be misleading. So it's like the cedi. For both ways, right? When the cedi is a Western currency, but to be fair, if you look at the cedi's behavior from the beginning of the year till now, it's depreciated 58.6%. So that's a long enough trend to say, look, if you buy and you don't buy things every week. So let's assume you import tiles from Italy. You probably bring it in every 3 months. So if you started in October last year and then January, and then April, and then August, from 6 to 14 is eating into your profit.
Definitely.
Now, if today is 12 December, and from 7 December, you've rallied 10%, I think it's not sustained enough to say, reduce your prices, because it's too short.
I agree, but also, there was a time, and maybe still going, where literally you go to a shop, and I'm talking about FMCGs mainly now, where they don't even put prices there anymore because they're literally, it's like by the minute, the price is changing according to the exchange rates or that they feel. So, and that they didn't wait for 5 days or 10 days, or it was like literally immediate and instant and constant. But in this case, we're told, okay, I think it's been a tough year for everyone, but at the end of it all, consumers, we've had to bear the brunt of it the most.
There are two possible comments on that. The first comment is what economists say prices are sticky downwards. What they basically say is that there are certain prices that find it easier to go up than go down. they defy gravity. So they'll say prices are sticky downwards. Then the second one is the point I was making about the sustained, how sustained the reduction has been. And also the point you made about, so if you buy something, and those who import can correct me if I'm wrong. So if you bring a container in based on the time for some of the agreements, you have to pay when you make your first sale. So let's assume I bring a container from China. And at the time I brought the container, the dollar was 7. And I said to the guy, I'm going to pay after a month. All right. So by the time in October was a really bad month. So let's assume at the end of September, I brought a container in and the cedi was 8. By end of October, when I made my first batch of sales, the cedi has gone to 14. Now, I'm paying the guy dollars. So the China guy that is not going to say, the time you brought the container was 8. So pay me 8. He doesn't even know the cedi. He just wants his dollars. So if I'm supposed to pay him $50,000 for the container, he would say, well, you're paying me, otherwise pay me upfront. So if you pay me upfront so if we paid upfront in September, then you can say that you were not affected by the 14. All right. But even if you paid in October, in September, you could still say, if I'm bringing new consignment, I'm going to use 14 to pay. But what makes this worse is that I bought the thing at 8 to the dollar, and I'm paying at 14. And I don't even know when it's going to stop. So I'm doing two things. I'm going to raise my price from the assumption for the 8, using the 14, and even going to say that because of the way it's behaving in October, in November it's going to go to even 16. So I'm going to even add that.
Yep.
You get me? So I do know that many people feel Ghanaian pricing doesn't make sense. And I've been trying to understand it, and I feel there's a lot of factors. There's a cultural issue there, but I also think that there's a strong structural issue of import dependence, and also the discordance between the inflation targeting policy and cost-push inflation, which many people have spoken about, including in the latest article. But I've had people, I interviewed a former minister who said he thinks that when you compare Ghana to all our neighbors, he believes that there's a profiteering mindset for Ghanaians, which he hasn't proven by any theory. He just is anecdotal.
Bernard, you see, there's historical evidence to support that. Let me tell you. Really? Yes. Let me specifically refer to the 2008 era during the Kufuor administration. That was at the height of the global economic meltdown, when house prices tumbled in the US, created problems for the global economy, and we saw food prices rise sharply. One of the measures that the Kufuor administration introduced was to waive off taxes on the import of rice and poultry and some other very key products. The idea was to make food prices affordable to Ghanaians. I think in excess of about $150 million or so must have been forfeited in the process, if my memory serves me correctly. What happened was that the traders simply refused to move prices downwards. Government had forfeited taxes as a way of helping to mitigate the impact of the high prices on Ghanaians. Traders simply refused to comply. And the government had no option than to say that, well, if we were taking part of the problem so that you lessen the problem on Ghanaians, and you refuse to do that. I remember clearly, we went to the markets to interview traders. They said no way, they were not reducing. Once the prices had moved up, they were not minded to reduce the prices. Let me I think I can just raise
So you are saying that even if the fundamentals around the cost build-up were to change, the Ghanaian retailer or seller would not reduce the price to reflect, but they would rather benefit from a windfall.
Yeah. In fact, this is a story published in August 2008 by the Daily Graphic. It's online, and it says that food prices soaring despite government's 150 million lifeline. Now, 150 million Ghana cedi lifeline, so the correction is in Ghana cedis, extended by the Kufuor administration to mitigate the effect of the world food crisis on Ghana, is not yielding the desired result or dividend. Now, the 150 million Ghana cedi is the revenue the government is to lose due to the removal of duties on some imported items, which was announced by the president last May.
So this is 2008 story.
Exactly. To ease the effect of the crisis on the Ghanaian consumer. Items covered by the waiver are fertilizers, spices and agricultural inputs. Some petroleum products also saw marginal reduction in prices. But the reality is that the measure is not benefiting consumers as the prices of food keep soaring on the local market, a situation the Finance and Economic Planning Minister, Mr. Kojo Bawuridu, attributed to the greed of some business entities which were cashing in to accumulate huge profits at the expense of consumers.
So let's even assume what Kojo Bawuridu is saying is true. If this is such a universally known truth about Ghana, what policies have governments put in place to deal with that? Because you can't tell me that social behavior cannot be theorized. So the fact that you know that people will do such a thing, what incentives do you give? What are your carrots? What are your sticks? So for me, I think sometimes policy makers shirk their responsibility in taking the right decisions, and then they traders are an easy target. Oh, Ghanaian traders are profiteering. Is it only Ghanaians who sell in our market? Isn't it last week that they said they should remove Nigerian traders from our cars? Don't Chinese people retail? So is it that when they get to Ghana, the Ghanaian mentality of excessive profiteering gets into their head? How come some people say that when you go to certain places, you can get things cheaper? I feel there may be some truth in the fact that Ghanaian traders may have a higher taste for profit. But it's all economic fundamentals. It's not, you see, if you want to attribute it to just behavior, then when Ghanaians go and sell in Nigeria or US, then why don't they sell at extra prices?
Bernard, you see, the point is that where are they going to take advantage of people and get away with it? I mean, look, this thing runs across real estate. It runs across people who sew your dresses for you, mechanics who work on your clutch or they work on your engine for you, people who are doing carpentry and all kinds of things for you. I have, look, after dealing with Ghanaians all these years, I have no doubt that the least opportunity for someone to make a CD off you, they will do it. And is
that unique to Ghanaians?
Well, I'm speaking in the Ghanaian context.
But because you see, we have higher, like for example, our inflation is 40.4%. It's the highest in Africa, unless Zimbabwe. All right, our interest rate, the main rate, the monetary policy is 27%. The last time we checked about 13 countries, it was apart from Zimbabwe the highest. Our cedi depreciation is 58. It's the highest in the world. All right, now some of these are structural. Some of these, I admit, could be behavioral. But I'm saying that even that behavior is because of the incentive and the signal that the economic managers give. Because under other conditions in different countries, the Ghanaian trader will not behave the same way. So to boil it down to Ghanaian traders wanting to make excess profit only deals with probably 13% of the problem. The problem is that and I'm telling you, if you read the article, maybe later I'll read it, page 8. He talks about the BOG trying to persistently tame inflation using high interest rates, when we all know that it is a cost-push inflation. He says the high rate of interest makes it difficult for businesses to borrow and invest in the real sector, right? And then he talks about what the BOG's monetary policy over the years has succeeded in maintaining a growth-stifling high inflation, high interest environment. And then he also talks about how that has fed into cedi depreciation, all right? I am inclined to believe such a theory, to say because the policy has been wrong-headed, it's giving the wrong incentive. But if you simply say it's a question, that means you are going into the realm of sociology, psychology. So let's take the Ghanaian brain and put it in a test tube and compare to the Ethiopian brain and ask why is the... And it's when you start doing those things, people shake their responsibility. Let's do what we can measure and stop this Ghanaians like profit.
Okay, but
let's stop that.
Okay, perhaps in other jurisdictions, and okay, let me use the US as an example, only because of my experience there. And, you know, there's a lot more competition in brands, right? Or among brands. So whereas here, fine, we're more import dependent. There are very few options with regard to certain FMCGs, so that if you go into a typical grocery shop, you may have maybe 2 or 3 options of, let's say, milk, right? Whereas maybe in a grocery store in the US, you may have 10. And by all means, there'll be a generic brand which is much cheaper than the rest. So the consumer has more of a choice and can dictate more as to what they'll buy. Whereas here, the 2 or 3 brands you see are very similarly priced. So you're forced to buy anyway. So whereas there, a company may be forced to reduce their prices because, hey, look, the generic brand is much cheaper. People are going for that because they have that option. But here, you don't have that.
So for example, if you go to the UK, if you go to Asda, and Asda is selling Colgate toothpaste. If Colgate is £2.50, Asda can do a toothpaste and call it Asda Fresh.
Thank you.
And do it £1.20.
Exactly.
Now, if you are price sensitive, you can say, Charlie, Colgate $2.50, I don't go buy. You will buy the Asda Fresh.
Yeah.
Now, to even make matters worse, Asda, Tesco, Waitrose. So Waitrose is like a high-end brand. Asda and Tesco are middle. You can go to Lidl or Aldi.
Thank you.
Lidl will sell orange juice for £2. He can sell that toothpaste for 60p. So we the Ghanaian hustlers, when we go, we enter Lidl,
we go straight
with
to Lidl.
£10, we go and fill our mark. So
You have the option.
Right.
You have
So the
options.
other point is that the fundamental issue is that you don't produce enough, and your
Exactly.
producers cannot compete.
That is
so
it.
your producers, so for example, you want to print a book in Ghana, it's more expensive than sending it to China. I was telling you about how a set of furniture we bought in China Mall was 2,800 cedis, and there was no way any carpenter in Ghana could do that. So it's not because the Ghanaian capital is expensive. The economy around scale and production at low levels. So the Chinese guy is not selling that furniture that we have in the kitchen for 2,000 because he loves you, or because he is more altruistic than the Ghanaian carpenter. The Ghanaian carpenter is operating from a shop behind your house, or he doesn't have enough scale. He doesn't. So, for example, the Chinese guy can produce, like where Godfrey used to live, he can produce like 10,000 pieces of furniture. The government can decide to subsidize it. The bank will give him a loan at a lower rate. They've perfected how to make the nails. They've perfected how to do the furniture. So the Chinese guy can sell it, put it on a ship, and it will still be cheaper than you making it here. If you reduce that to saying Ghanaian wants to make profit, Efo Kofi doesn't have enough skill and know-how. His bank is charging him interest of 28%. He doesn't have access to credit. So if you put all of that together, there's no way he can charge a lower price. You can also add a 5% markup and say, because of Bomohi, so he wants to buy. If you make a whole theory around that, we don't.
I'm saying that
it's not the
one. You have just mentioned part of the problem, or it's just part of the problem. The fact is that beyond what you have said, there is greed and insensitivity in Ghana.
How do you measure that?
Okay, go to the streets right now.
Yes.
And say you want to buy something that is common to every person. Let's say perhaps Chalewote.
Okay.
And they are selling it in the street. And you know, if you go to one of the Melcom shops, you will get it for, say, let's say 20 Ghana cedis or maybe 10 Ghana cedis. Go to the streets, Osu for instance, and meet one of those boys, Kobe or Kojo, selling it. You know what price you could?
How much?
He will tell you, okay, where the Chaleman to be, with your mommy, 70 Ghana cedis. If you do not pay attention to the movement of prices, by the time you leave there, he will rip you off and you pay 50 Ghana cedis for it.
But that's not peculiar to Ghanaians.
Hold on.
But can we explain
Wait. What I'm saying is that it is largely a question of also the lack of formalization of the Ghanaian economy. So that if you go into a shop, you don't see the prices.
Before you go, let me ask you a question. Are you saying the Ghanaian trader has avarice, or you're saying the Ghanaian? Because see, if we say it's the Ghanaian problem, then we can even add the banks to the way they price. We can add the government from the way it prices credit, and then say the whole Ghanaian society is sick because we don't know how to price. But if you reduce it to the Ghanaian trader, I have a problem. Because see, once you isolate the trader, you are making it look as if all the other factors are okay and the trader is only doing the profiteering. If you say that the Ghanaian pricing culture is wrong, then I can say, well, that's fair. Because if the government is pricing the amount of money it gives you, i.e. the interest rate as an excessive rate, there's no way you're also going to sell a price low. Then we all collectively take the blame and say, as a country, our pricing culture is wrong. But if you take the Ghanaian trader and you want to isolate him and ring fence him and say that he's the one who is on the street,
I just gave you evidence from 2008. Let's assume that the government has been historically incapable of dealing with
your evidence is just one. You can't give me one. I need more evidence.
More evidence. PNDC era. Of course, people were hoarding products and selling it at cutthroat prices. Of course, we have our own problems with how the government dealt with that. Clearly unacceptable. But the point I'm making is that, look, whether we like it or not, what Bernard has stated is part of the problem. But there's also another side of the problem, which is that people like greed too much in this country. And you see it every day. Somebody will sell some needle. If you don't take it, they'll sell it for you 100 Ghana cedi. He knows that it is wrong. But he still do it. Charlie.
You will come back in a bit. Let's do tech and social media trends. Brought to us by Vodafone. One Ghana, one Ghana, one Ghana. The Vodafone One Ghana promo is here. With just 1 Ghana cedi, you can have 20 minutes talk time to all other networks and 1 GB of data every day between 5 a.m. and 11:59 a.m. All you have to do is dial star 530 hash to subscribe and enjoy longer conversations and browsing. Vodafone, further together. Car Bank is saying that reactivate your account this holiday season and get more value. you get *771#, Cownet and Cowbank app, and all of the goodies. Contact them, customer care at cowbank.net, or call 0800 500 500, or visit their website, cowbank.net. Daniel Cranting is here. It's time for tech and social media trends. Mr. Cranting, how are you doing?
Nathan, I agree with Sky. When COVID came out fresh,
yes.
Sanitizer
Yes.
was supposed to be 25 cedis.
You were 100.
146 Ghana.
You're right.
Tell me, I told them.
You were right.
I told them that things will level up, and then we'll see what they do with the sanitizer.
It's true.
They will eat
And
it.
the worst one was the face shield.
50 cedis.
So we told them.
Now it's 5 for 1 cedi.
We told them that it will level up, and now they will wear their own face. The other day I saw one. If you buy one, you get 3 or some ridiculous thing.
I'm shocked. You're not serious. Sky, you are right.
Thank you, my brother.
Delight Providence.
Too much, Charlie.
But Charlie, is that the trend? There's only one. Ayo Balogun.
Danny K is warming up. He's warming up for this.
Let's start with
Ayo Balogun.
Wizkid.
Wizzy baby.
Wizzy. That guy, he has a problem, eh?
Why? Wizzy.
Charlie, me, I don't like people who don't respect us. Me, it was better if you didn't perform. You just leave it like that and go. Have you read the statement?
Yeah, I've read it.
He said he had safety and production issues. That's why he didn't come. So you are afraid for our safety, so you didn't come. Does that make sense? Then Kim promised to.
Charlie, once are calling him Nungwa Rodrigo de Paul.
You, when international artists are doing some.
What do you mean by
Danny
that?
K. Exactly. What do you mean by that? Are you trying to say King Promise is not an international artist? King Promise has performed
He is
abroad.
equally an international act.
Yes.
Even me, I've performed abroad before.
No. King Promise,
I've performed abroad.
King Promise legitimately has international credentials as a
so what did
performer
King
and as an
Promise say?
artist.
But how did he get involved in all of this?
King Promise was also supposed to perform.
And on
he
two
didn't come.
He's following Wizkid. They are front back. Then they were dancing.
Charlie, I saw a video.
As people were waiting for them at Accra
I saw a
Sports.
video. I saw a 10-second video of Wizkid and whoever it is at front back. I don't know what song they were playing, but they were doing this ridiculous dance where they were lifting their hands and putting it on their head.
So the front back is.
But was that actually Saturday night?
Was
It
it
was,
an
it was
event?
actually Friday night.
It was the night before.
So they were performing at front bank, or they went there to
They were not
dance?
performing, they were chilling.
And so and there was a contract that required him to
A
be
contract, Live Hub Nation.
Uh-huh.
They had booked Wizkid and King Promise.
and he didn't show. The two of them
I
did
was
not show
waiting
up.
at Accra Sports Stadium. And you know the painful thing? You see the culture of our concerts in Ghana. So 1 a.m. people say, oh, you come.
He'll come.
Oh, 2 a.m. Oh, you come.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. 3:15. Oh, you come.
4 a.m.
They were there, no, the sun has come.
It was the sun that showed up.
The sun was in the air. We could see it clear. Wizkid, no shoe. King Promise, no shoe. King Promise too has come to release statement.
He said,
He said he will not compromise on the safety of his fans, no matter how much money you pay. You live in Ghana. You live in Ghana. You've gone to Accra Stadium before. It's today you are telling me that you not. Is it serious?
No, I think there has to be
But I
some
wonder,
proper explanation.
At what point did
And
the organizers
refund.
know they were not coming? They must have known. It must have been like something they knew in good time. Maybe they were trying to salvage the situation. Maybe. I doubt they found out at 3 a.m. that he wasn't coming.
Whatever it is,
That's what the
if
Wizkid
people
statement
paid money,
Yeah.
You sure?
and had legitimate expectation that they were coming to see someone, and the person or the persons did not show up, they are entitled to some remedy. And that remedy must come from the people who took the money and did not hold their end of the bargain. There cannot be any ifs and buts about it. The people must be paid their money back in part or in full, as the case may be.
Then free show.
Yeah, Charlie. Oh. Crazy. Imagine buying a VIP table for thousands.
But
of dollars.
I heard Wizkid, he was in Benin. Oh.
Yeah.
But then you tried.
But
He did it to the
Yeah. I heard
So he
that
was supposed to move from Accra to Abidjan to Cotonou. Then he went to Accra no show. Then he went to Cotonou and went to perform. Whilst he was performing in Cotonou, the Abidjan people were waiting for him.
Yes. I heard they held some of his team members hostage.
Oh, yeah,
said
he said
they
don't allow them to leave.
What is all this?
Oh, you be here. If your man doesn't show up, you'll not go anywhere.
When you come back, you drop whiskey for me.
Well, but Life Hub, they did release a statement saying that they will refund people's money, and that they actually said that
Wizkid money.
Well, they said he breached contractual obligations and that they will refund people's money to them, and they apologize for what happened.
I'm only asking an innocent question. Do they have any money left?
They said they're going to refund people's money.
Let's move on.
How will they do that?
I don't care how you find. You just pay me my money. That's all. You can promise. Wizkid is doing some. You two are doing some in your own country.
But that part the boy you.
Danny K, why?
We shouldn't tolerate some things.
Okay, you make it.
I think this is the attitude that you used to go for. You're sitting in club.
But anyway,
meanwhile, your country people are waiting for you to come and pay.
Anyway. Well, as for Kimpra, but that's not really because somebody said, let's move on. We will not get into that. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, Morocco.
Morocco, may I point out, has destroyed Danny K's predictions, by the way.
Not my predictions. They have destroyed everything.
They have built everything for us, I would say.
They left. They'll go to
bleaching.
They'll go to us bleaching the abattoirs.
Leave our goat alone.
Saturday, I don't know how I survived. Straight after the game, I went to sleep. I was lying in bed and I felt something wet around my eye.
Oh, Charlie.
You were crying in solidarity with CR7.
It's not coming back. No work out.
Meanwhile, your second goat is doing things.
Which second goat?
The one you claim is the second
goat. The goat's friend. He may win the World Cup.
Like how much boy?
All right, Charlie.
Let's do some tech news. Activision Blizzard, they are the ones who make a Call of Duty Candy Crush.
Yeah, I love that.
They were going to be bought by Microsoft. Okay. The US regulators, they say no, they can't allow this thing to happen. So they are going to block it. They say it's going to spur competition. So they suspect that Microsoft, after the buy, they will make Call of Duty only available on Xbox. They say they can't allow that thing. So
we should all enjoy Call of Duty. Thank you. That was second social media trends brought to us by CowBank and Vodafone.
Massa, make what make you go. We need to go to the bank first before we go and pay for the things. Time no day like that too.
Relax. Everything there in my hand inside.
Massa, we need to get the cash.
Forget the cash. See, transfer, payment. I did use the CowBank app. No stress.
That's slow for me. I still forgo my bank. I don't have account for CowBank.
I say forget the cash. Even without an account at CowBank, you can download the app, sign up, and connect your mobile money wallet or debit card. And you can make your payments too.
Hey, I just signed up.
Enjoy the convenience, safety, and freedom of the CowBank app. Whether you have an account with CowBank or not, all options are open to you, including scan to pay. Download the CowBank app now. Forget the cash.
Feel like I for just open account for CowBank.
On the app, no.
CowBank, forward together.
CowBank, forward together.
Imagine you are home for the Christmas holidays. Happy. You are trying to make new meals with exciting recipes you found on YouTube. You're posting pictures of your activities on social media. You're playing online games, watching live matches. You're streaming movies. You're chatting. You're video calling. You're browsing. You are happy. This is an unlimited Vodafone Christmas.
The unlimited Christmas promo is back. Get 30 days of unlimited browsing on Vodafone fixed broadband when you pay 2 months or more in advance. Stay connected this Christmas. Simply dial *900#. Visit www.fbp.vodafone.com or download my Vodafone app to subscribe now. Terms and conditions apply.
Vodafone, further together.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Sankofa natural spices. Emma Boliade. Sankofa natural spices. Emma Kwamuyam. Sankofa natural spices. Didi Sankofa natural spices. Unia natural. Breakfast esuru sanke take it in ya get through. Me go home me from sabi bia ye natural. Rekese esuru we sanke tenkete ni akete duro. Me go me from we sabi bia ye natural. Aya didi yo no wet me aboduma. Didi ye no wenya apomode. So many didn't wait to me out today, the BMY and some copper. So many didn't wait to me out today, the some copper. Into Yadua, mammy, use some copper spices. Rekese, Esuru, Sanke, take it through. The home from Sabi, yeah, natural.
This advert is FDA approved.
These are challenging times. We are faced with uncertainty about the future. But haven't we been here before? We faced and won many battles over and over again. We are guided by our history and taught by experience. We've done this before. We've seen it all. We built, supported, and inspired individuals, families, businesses, and organizations. We are optimistic about the future. So be inspired. Face the challenge. Beat the challenge. At UBA, we are equipped to partner you to face and beat your challenges. Be inspired for success in the future.
UBA, Africa's global bank. One week observation, 3 days of burial, 40 days celebration after the funeral, and 1 year anniversary. Funerals are a big deal in Ghana, and the final journey is an elaborate event that sends off loved ones in style and in celebration. My Perfect Funeral will have Ghanaian stories told, confessions made, and explosive family drama on the journey to a long goodbye. Watch My Perfect Funeral starting 8th December 2022, only on Showmax. Sign up at showmax.com.
We all want more, don't we?
Of course.
More options, more opportunities, and definitely more interest when we invest our hard-earned money. Since more is better, here's a toast to 31.5% interest.
In life, you always need a partner who will give you that little bit extra. Open a term deposit account with advanced savings and loans and earn up to 31.5% interest for a 3 to 12 month period. Now is your chance to get value for your money with the Bigger and Better promo. This offer is open to businesses and individuals. The Bigger and Better promo runs from now to 31st December 2022. Terms and conditions apply.
Call us on 0800 355 355.
Fans Ghana, growing together.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Na 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 na. Oh, is it because I buy you designer? We make you feel like say I don't do right. Oh, 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 oh. I just be generous, Mariana, just because you still be my numero uno. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna play you for real, cause you see right through me. Yes, I know. Ooh, yeah. If you gon' believe them lies, baby, just realize that's me, yes. On me, I love you when you talk to me. That you feel like therapy. I love you when you talk to me. That you feel like therapy. Ooh, ooh. But I said that biggie bam, biggie bam, biggie bam bam. Biggie bam, biggie bam, biggie bam bam. Baby be the finest, my baby be the finest. Biggie bam, biggie bam, biggie the bam bam. The biggie the bam, biggie the bam, biggie the bam bam. Baby be the finest, my baby be the finest. Used to do the freaky things, I still wanna do nasty things. We lose it in the misery.
818. Sounds of Stonebwoy.
Where they enough with the Madonna glow. The drum way they play for your mouth, it never goes poto. You know anytime you are hitting it is on point. Normal drum, if you they hit and sometimes it will make So as it take go that level, Charlie. Bing bang.
No, but this is what people are going to experience on the 24th of December.
Thank you.
This one, no shaking, no problem, no issue. You will not be there till 3 a.m. when you show up. Stonebwoy will be there live and in color. He will bring all the hits. It is not a question. It's not a question. No, he shall be there.
We start on time.
And your table will be there waiting for you.
We will not put you at the back.
As
VIP.
If you pay for platinum, you get platinum. If you pay for gold, you get gold.
We'll customize the
silver is your portion. That is what you will have.
And the drinks will be there.
Flowing.
We will not let it disappear
Not
and sell extra drinks at a higher price.
Your wristband will take you where you're supposed to sit.
Let them. VIPs,
It will be clearly labeled.
VVIPs, VVIP.
Situation.
So just call the number 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973. Call those numbers, book your table. Platinum, diamond, gold, and silver. You call the numbers, book that table. Come and enjoy music.
Thank you.
That's right.
Food, drinks, chewables. Charlie, the whole show.
If we don't think I'll add a third one, but
it's okay. Alright, so the Chin Chin Band will be there.
Who said they are sharing things?
They are come. You get it.
Mention the things they give.
Abajani, but you see,
The Chin Chin Band is there.
Chin.
Prior will be there.
Prior.
Abiana will be there.
Abiana.
Akwaba will be there.
Akwaba.
And Stonebwoy will be there.
Thank you.
Bim.
Yeah, done no.
You will not be leaving La Palm Royale Beach Hotel disappointed.
Thank you.
Ake Oshika Fashion. No. That will not be the case on the 24th of December.
I'm missing something here.
Bernardino, we're just trying to let the people know what is in store for them on the 24th of December.
All right, but you were saying something about different packages and things.
Yes. Platinum, diamond, gold, and silver.
Clearly demarcated.
I have a question. So do you call the same number for each side?
Yes, you just call.
So when you call, just mention yourself.
Because I thought you have a platinum number.
No.
We don't want to confuse. We don't want to confuse anybody.
And you see, our people are efficient.
When we call the number, what should we say?
When you call the number, say, my name is Kokwi, and I'm interested in the platinum package.
Then we'll give you the prize.
8 of my friends, we want to come and be treated like royalty at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. It's even in the name, Royal Beach. Royalty. We want to come. We want to come in our all-white outfits that we've sewn specially for situation, and we want to be treated like royalty at La Palm Royal. You will be escorted to your cabana.
You get to enjoy
by a professional usher who will make sure that you are comfortable, who will make sure that all of the drinks specified in the platinum package are there. You will get all of the grills that are specified in the platinum package. You will get the buffet dinner.
So when you say situation, what is situation?
So situation is an outdoor party happening on December 24th. Happening on December 24th.
Yes.
You get it? After a year of stress and everything, we say, come and cool down. Come and relax.
It has metamorphosed.
Why are you calling it situation then?
So you see, because previously, we used to have December to remember, different term. December to remember. So that was basically just going to jam. You understand? But you see, the arrival of COVID and related matters, compelled an innovation. Which innovation made it possible for us to come up with additional value for the consumer, for the merrymaker, so that just partying, just dancing on. No. Sanotasi.
We are growing.
Exactly. We have enhanced the value of the package. So Obatashi,
Fine.
This is an outdoor party.
Yes.
Yes. People sit.
Yes, so you sit. So when they are...
So, I'm coming. So it's not like you are going to stand.
No.
So you sit and then they give you food on the table. But there's also music.
Of course.
So where will you dance?
So you see, you can move and move.
You can move around.
You have the option.
That, you know, that you have the option to move around.
You can move the chair back.
Move it back. In fact, you can even carry the chair and be dancing with the chair. Problem no. You understand? It's all about the party. And as you are dancing, you have something in front of you. You are drinking because those days, if you are going to the National Theatre, they say, "Oh no, you can't bring
no food."
No, we don't have that.
So this one, they will give you the food while you are there.
Yes.
Ah.
But what kind of food is it?
In fact,
You have paid for.
What you have paid for?
What can I pay for?
So you can pay for grills.
Yes.
You can pay for drinks. You can pay for a buffet.
What is grill?
Grill. You see,
Grill?
Maro yoni barbecue.
They are here to
you see, you know, fish or meat or whatever you like. They grill it. They put it on fire. Charcoal.
Okay.
You know, when you hear it. Yes. Then they put atadi inside. You know atadi? The pepper, yes. And they add salt if you like this or they manage it for you. The baby, you know, spices. You know, different spices. They will add it to the thing. So when it arrives on your table, you don't have problems.
So it could be fish or meat.
It could be fish or meat. Just tell the people.
Would there be meat pie?
No, then you have to
call the number. This is not a meat pie kind of event.
And then there are drinks to go with.
Yes.
So is that what they call small chops?
It could be, but you see, the platinum package,
is there like Friday yam?
This one is to whet your appetite. So you could have yelena shinke, una kebab, una that
pork
but
chops.
you also have a buffet dinner.
There's a
buffet dinner for the platinum.
And then you can alternate between eating and dancing.
If you're dancing to Stonebwoy, you expend a lot of energy. So you need options.
When you're dancing to the Jacket remix by Pride.
Okay, what about people who say we don't drink alcohol?
Ceres Juice is one of your sponsors. What are you talking about?
So everything.
Ceres Juice.
The beauty of this, Aloski, Aloski, calm down.
I'm trying to understand it.
The beauty of this. So you call the magic number.
That's the number.
The magic number.
0205 973 973.
They will explain everything.
Or 0558 973 973. They will explain.
So I call. My name is Godfred.
Thank you.
I am coming with Sky.
Thank you.
This one and this. We are paying for the platinum. So maybe on the platinum, 6 of us take alcohol.
Thank you.
2 of us don't. You tell the person at the end of the line all those things. They take note.
So they will customize it.
Yes.
Look, so when we get there, everything is there. You know that, okay, so Sky is the one who doesn't take that. So the series is there.
Yes.
This one is the one who doesn't like the nyama. So it's a Doritos. It is there. He will chew the chips. Like everything set.
Then those who like things.
What you should do, however, is be certain of the cabana you want in the package. Don't tell us you want silver, then you get there, you see people at the platinum are chilling, and then you say, hey, I said, Mrs. Amadrin.
It has, you know, Godfred makes a good point because it has happened before.
Make up your mind.
People arrived, they bought silver. When they came, they were like,
Platinum is chilling. Platinum is popping.
And they upgraded. But you see, you have to be careful because there's a limited seating arrangement.
Where is the event?
It's happening at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel.
What time is it?
It's from 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
And make sure you are coming in white. In your
It's the all white.
You know, when you come, you will be looking
not off white.
And it's situation as in C.
C-I-T-I.
It is the situation. Situation.
So how we spell city?
Oh, Chairman.
So can you drop one stone boy?
You will give you just to get
Situation they get critical. Pressure they over minimal. And they feel cynical. She no be principal. Oh yo. One very beautiful sabbatical. As I they listen to some classical.
Well, you know Stonebwoy is my man, so
that's critical.
If he's listening, I want to request a song for that day. Sampatama Putu. I've never been able to ask you what that song is.
We are raising prayer.
Is that a song?
Oh yeah, we are raising prayer for everybody. So what they drop? Oh yeah, we prayer. We pray. Oh yeah, we are speaking it. Yeah, I was speaking it.
Oh, listen.
Oh yeah.
Sky, really?
Listen.
Putuma petre, sampatama putu, samputuma petre, sampatama zuku. One that I'm not the share. Wanna be, on your body. Wanna be, on your body. Wanna be, on your body. Wanna be, chogobi, one chogobi.
Yeah, so that's
and one thing we can promise is that inflation will not affect.
No.
What we have, two things: no haircut, and no inflation,
and no pricing in dollars. This is priced in Ghana cedis, please. Your cedis will get you into situation. No shaking, no problem. No conversion of currency. No forex to worry about. Come in your all white to Lapin Royal. You see, some of my people say Lapin.
Lapin.
Lapin Royal. Come dressed.
The wedding, ensure that it was beautiful.
Really?
Charlie, where the FOP?
Lapin
Royal Beach. So the number is 558, right? 973. And then 0205 973 973. Okay, now you know. So you can't say we didn't tell you. Fantastic.
And we'll keep
a
telling
friend
you
called me that she and her friends from GIG, some year group, they said they tired so much. They are coming to dirty the church.
That's correct.
They are coming to dirty the church. I say, I don't know.
It's in order.
I'm not aware.
They should come. Who host them?
Anyway, so let's come back to the thing you were saying. You know what's funny? A lot of people seem to support you, which I find very odd.
Oh, you do?
like so far, if people, you know what's even annoying is that people send a message to my phone and say Sky is right. It's like, are you serious? Like, if Sky is right,
maybe that's the perception.
If Sky is right, why are you sending a message? Why you send a message to me? Send it to him. You know, some guy sent me a photo of Willie and said, "Can you imagine this Willie is 4 CDs?
Oh, Willie 4 CDs. Willie, Apama, Willie."
Sky, it not be joke.
But you've not been able to answer some fundamental questions I've asked you. That when Ghanaians travel abroad, do they sell the same way?
No, because you see,
so the question, and I'm saying when foreigners come to Ghana to sell, do they sell different?
You see, but you see, Bernard, what you
think about that question carefully.
Hold on.
Because if you can prove that the Ghanaian behavior is not particular to Ghana, then my argument is stronger. That is because of the conditions.
No, Bernard, I can even tell you specific examples. You see, if you go to the Indian shops in the UK, you find close to everything you want to cook a Ghanaian food.
Yes.
And
they call it basmati rice.
Basmati, you get all.
And then they have Maggi cube.
They have almost everything. So when you enter, an Indian shop, you'll get everything. And normally, they will always display the prices because that's the regulation, that's the rule. The consumer is protected within that economy. But you go to a Ghanaian, and they don't even own a shop, strictly speaking. They will tell you, Charlie, if you want this, you call this woman. And Tiakwele, Ide Milton Keynes, he will sort you out.
Are you going to go to the Ghanaian shop in the UK?
Yeah, that's right. So normally, they often don't even have shops strictly. They do their businesses. I mean, the ones that I dealt
the place you went.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
When I go to the Ghana shop, I was buying kinky, half-boiled kinky, and I was buying ripe plantain, and the price was there.
Where with the people I was dealing with, I didn't go to any shop.
You didn't go to a Ghanaian shop?
They will give you a number. Yes. So you call the number. When you call the number, then they will give you so they will say, okay, when are you coming? You say, okay, by Saturday morning, I'll be there. So when you go there, then they give you the price. You understand?
The Ghana people in the UK.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They've not displayed the price on the product you are buying or anything. So you now negotiate with them.
So you are saying that even in the Ghana shop in UK, they are doing the same thing?
Oh, look, they will tell you that, oh, Madam Fu, you say, but now here, wait.
I will not have this guy from Ghana.
Oh, see, but they will deal with you now. They say, oh, Charlie, when you turn away. Then you tell them, no, boss, Charlie.
Yes, student, me
pressure day.
Me papa,
Charlie. So you see, what I'm saying is that
this is your point. I disagree with you.
But no, because I'm telling you about my personal.
My life in the UK, nobody did that thing to me.
Oh no, that is you. I'm talking about me. I'm not telling you.
I'm sure they were not. So you are saying that a Ghana shop in UK, they didn't display the price?
I'm saying that it wasn't even a shop. The person was they operated largely from their home.
It was because you were in a village. I went to a Ghana shop. Milton Keynes has more Ghanaians than other parts of the UK. So how can you get a Ghana shop that has? How can you go to a Ghana shop in Milton Keynes and tell me that if you have a
Milton Keynes me properly. I'm not saying that the Ghanaian people didn't have a shop. I am saying that the people that I dealt with, they relied largely on yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's right. Word of mouth. So you say, oh, yeah, that's right. Somebody will lead you there. So when you go there,
so why?
Look, because as I've come to understand it, largely when you go into the shops, the price is already displayed. So there's no negotiation.
Yes.
But largely, look, go to many of our shops in Ghana. Sometimes even as you are.
But that's a policy regulation issue. That's not a culture pricing issue.
See, Bernard.
If the same, that's why your point about Milton Keynes Ghana shop not having a display, I'm a bit concerned.
Ghanaian people, he says it's not a shop.
Okay. So you're saying that in the Ghanaian community you had, if you wanted something to do soup, they will say, I have an Ama connection.
Yes, that's right.
Connection, no, only shop. I know that's different. Because I will go to Coventry Ghana shop. When I enter the Ghana shop, the price is there.
Okay. Yeah, that's your experience.
I could buy ripe plantain for £1 for one.
You see,
yes, but the price was there.
The thing is, people.
Why are you trying to give Ghanaians a bad?
No, people will do what they can get away with.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That's the honest truth.
No,
yeah,
in
the UK.
I know.
By the way, I used to cut it in tiny pieces and fry it.
You treasure it.
I even had half the Ghana kinkin. They cook it half.
Yes.
Then they label it.
You treasure it.
Lord and my God. So Sky, a few people seem to think that you are right, but let's find out from the Guta people what they really mean when they say to their members that they should reduce the price. Because I find it it's not a very usual call to make, because usually Guta will say. Guta will justify the price increase. All right. So I don't know if they are playing to the guy, they actually mean business, because this has been only 1 week or two of stable or currency appreciation.
So what's gonna happen?
Yeah. So, Fred, I don't know if you have the guy on the line. Maybe you want to call them.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine is doing a paper which seems to support your view.
Okay.
That what the Ghanaian seller is profit driven.
I interviewed him a few months ago on this. It's called Apia Agdomako Kusi. And he's actually putting a paper together which seems to support the argument that Sky is making. His article is titled Ghanaian Pricing Culture. Prices never recover. He says it's a draft, so maybe we can call him to explain. He seems to be in agreement. There was a day I did a show with you and I asked him to give the causes, what determines high prices in Ghana, to rank them. And he ranked Ghanaian pricing culture as number 1.
Okay.
I cannot disagree with him, but I'm still looking for facts to prove him wrong.
In fact, if you go to Kokumpe today, and go to a Ghanaian shop and identify a Nigerian shop, I can guarantee with everything in me that often you find that prices are cheaper in the Nigerian shops compared to the
here in Ghana.
Yes, Kokumpe right now.
Umale. Okay, please. Let me ask this: Is it true? Is it true?
Bernard, to be fair. Every time we've discussed such a topic, lots of people have said very similar things to what Sky is saying, that you can go to a place and you walk into a Ghanaian shop, price is X. You go to a Nigerian shop and the price is lower.
Seriously?
Yeah,
so you get comments corroborating what you're saying?
Several comments.
Within the same market?
Within the same market.
That the Nigerians will sell cheaper?
Yes, so maybe we need to find out what it is.
And they are both selling in cities?
And they are both selling in cities. And they are selling the same items. So,
Charlie, please listen, is it true?
But you remember during COVID, the thick of it, we had some sound bites. I wish we could find, but there were traders actually saying that, look, we've increased our prices so much and people are still buying, so we're not going to reduce them, because there were complaints about the exorbitant increase in prices for everyday goods that people buy. And Gary was one of them. Remember, all of a sudden Gary shot up almost 100%, and people thought, but why? There was this notion that maybe there's going to be scarcity. There was no scarcity of food, but they took advantage of it, increased prices. And I remember hearing those sound bites with traders saying,
is that why the Ghanaians go and close the Nigerian shops? Because
they feel
that is, maybe because they feel they are
taking market away from them.
Because last week there was a situation in Kasura where Ghanaian Guta people went to close some Nigerian shops. Why would they close a Nigerian shop if it wasn't for the fact that maybe they are pricing differently?
Can't compete.
Most likely.
Somebody's corroborating and saying, Bernard, prices in Ghana shops abroad is ridiculously expensive as compared to Chinese shops. It's the same attitude out there. Sky is very right. Elizabeth, this Sky is not Sky. He doesn't have connection. He's go to Mitigate and be calling people that you want to buy. How can you go to people and be calling phone that you want to buy things?
But the person has it.
It means that you are not serious. How can a whole Ghanaian go and be calling that you want to go to the market yourself?
But Bernard.
What was the last time you went to a market?
Okay, Bernard.
When I was in the UK, I used to go.
Bernard, you listen to this one. This one, somebody sent me a message and said, back in Kumasi around 2011, I used to work in a printing shop where we printed WAEC results for candidates and help with their uni registration.
Okay.
Something that costs 1 Ghana cedi on the open market, we were selling it for as high as 30 cedis.
Hey.
Okay, I want to explain this in 2 ways. You see, I'm saying that there are multiple reasons why prices in Ghana are high. When you are trying to analyze an issue, you must look at the main factors, the main drivers, and then you can also look at the additional factors. I am saying that we are in a high price economy because of a high interest rate, wrong-headed economic policy, import orientation. So the average Kenyan or Nigerian or Ghanaian will typically, if you look at the food they eat, probably the Ghanaian eats 70% of imported things. The Kenyan and Nigerian will eat a lower percent. So because generally we are import happy and we don't produce as much, our pricing is out of our hands. So I think that's the fundamental issue. Then, based on Toby Afede's article, the Bank of Ghana doesn't really help with their interest rate policy, which he believes does not bring prices down because, according to him, they look at historical inflation and not expected inflation. And historical inflation is always high, so it keeps driving prices up. So, for example, you give an example in Zambia, as you speak, in October, our inflation was around I think it was around 27%. Theirs was around 19%. The inflation has come down to 9%. Ours has gone to 40%. He says that their central bank reduced their interest rate, whilst ours raised ours. So there are fundamental policy issues that influence this. So you are import happy. So if you take the typical Ghanaian clothes, food, house, more things there are imported than the Nigerian or the Kenyan or the Zambian for that matter, right? Then the signal the central bank sends in its interest rate policy also crowds out the real sector, makes credit very expensive. Because if the monetary policy rate is around 27%, there's no credit for the private sector. So it's Kenyan and Nigerian colleague can get access to cheaper credit. So that's point number 2. Okay. Then you now bring in the issue of behavior. That could be the third one, where you can say, in fact, even before behavior, you can say there are larger local manufacturers in those 2 countries than Ghana. So you go to Kenya, Godfred will tell you, they produce a lot of their own tea, coffee, milk, sugar, a lot of what they eat. They are large-scale Kenyans who produce these things, the same as Nigeria. In Ghana, you don't have that. Most of our big guys are importers. So that has already created a highly inflationary environment. So then you can say, in addition to that, there is also the informality where Ghanaians typically use their they'll look at your face and price it. Yeah. But I'm saying that's probably like the 4th point. Okay, that's not, and because you see, if you've come to me housing, why is housing expensive? It's the same thing. There's no like land tenure. Before you get the land, you pay for 3 people to get the land to build the house. You import everything you're using to build the house. You don't have access to credit, so you use all your savings to build the house. Obviously, you price it high, and because you spend all that money building the house, you ask them to give you 2 months inflation, 2 months, 2 years advance. In addition to all of the other issues, you understand? So if you theorize and say, it's the Ghanaian behavior. Ghanaian behavior is probably just 10%. It's not the main issue.
I agree with some of the things you said and their contributions, but I'm saying that your characterization of, and also the allocation of blame to Ghanaian as being an insignificant one or 10%, I have serious disagreement.
It's much larger?
Yeah, I think it's much larger because, Bernard, look, if you go to shops even in Ghana, there is no display of prices. They are urging you to negotiate. You see, what that does is, first of all, they are ripping the Ghanaian public purse of tax cedi. Because what happens, ideally, in the UK, if you go in there and you buy something, they know the standard price. So you can always calculate how much tax is imposed on it. But if you come to the Ghanaian context, if you go to the Ghanaian shop, they say, we are saying, he will quote a price for you and say, Ubema saying, or Nenina Ganala. So you go into negotiation. You negotiate, go back, chale, godo neni, or godo neni ganala, godo saying. Then you eventually arrive at the price. He will tell you that, even this price I'm giving you is not, and soon here.
But is it not because of our social interaction. Like Ghanaians like conversation. So somebody could say, if you go to a shop in a Western country or another country where the price is displayed, it reduces interaction.
Yes.
Where, for example, I'll give you an example. Yesterday I went to a shop, Milcom, to buy stuff. And I was telling my friend who I went to that, this looks like a mixture of an Asda and an Indian corner shop. But there was interactivity. The lady was talking to me and things. Even though they display some prices there. And I was saying that even at the checkout, the lady was talking to me and doing the checkout. You go to UK, you check out on your own. So it's like you can go to a whole shop and you are there alone. The first time Nathan went to the UK,
the machine was looking
like he wanted to buy something and there was nobody in the shop. Elaine, you asked him immediately. And he was just standing there.
It was Malta Guinness enriched.
He couldn't even remember.
So I got there.
Nobody did it.
I didn't see anybody. And I was leaving. I was hungry.
You can eat here.
So wait.
I
was hungry.
That's the only thing you could buy.
It was my first time interacting with the self checkout. I was just looking at it. Anyway,
so my point is that the interactivity is part. So maybe they are not putting their price there not because they want to cheat you, but they want to talk to you.
No. They want to interact with you. Let's.
We are very social. We are very sociable. We want to talk.
Yeah, and have conversation. I get that. There's a culture of it. Let's speak to Clement Boateng. Clement Boateng is Clement Boateng is vice president of Guta. He's number 2 at Guta. Mr. Boateng, good morning. Welcome to the City Breakfast Show.
Yeah, good morning and thank you for having me.
Great. We are learning that you are appealing to your members to adjust prices of their goods and services because the city seems to have stabilized a bit against the city. Can you just explain why that decision on your members? We find it very interesting. We want to understand why you've taken this decision. Hello, Mr. Boateng.
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Great. I was asking why you are telling your members to adjust their prices downwards, it turns out, following the appreciation of the cedi in recent days.
Yes, good morning once more to your cherished listeners and viewers, and thank you for having me. Yeah, I think we are in a country that if situation demands that we have to, contribute to the development, and for that matter, the generality of our people, the onus lies on everybody to do that. We are all aware that the city has seen a depreciation. The economists are saying from the beginning of the year up to now, the city has depreciated close to about 52%. But practically, we think it has even depreciated more than that. And if you could recall, just about 2 months ago, the city was depreciating not on daily basis or on weekly basis, but on an hourly basis, and that contributed to the price hikes of goods of goods and services that we saw. And we all attest to the fact that people were complaining, about increase in prices and of goods and services. And so, if you could also see that for the past maybe a week or so, the city has seen a little bit of appreciation, and that is why even prices of fuel, has been reduced. And as an association, we think this has come about as a result of some of the measures that our government has, put in place. And then we want to call on government, to continue to implement and enforce those measures so that we could even see a further appreciation of the city. So as an association, it is incumbent on us that once there has been a little bit stability of the city, we should then appeal to our members so that they could also try as much as possible to, adjust their prices. We all know that we are about to enter the festive mood, and so people will be making a lot of, purchases. So then we have to appeal, to the members to try as much as possible, to adjust their prices so that
Mr. Boateng,
at least. Hello,
Mr. Boateng, Bernard here. So should I take it that you expect the cedi to keep strengthening against the dollar as we approach Christmas? I'm asking this question because I remember in the past when the dollar rose, my argument to you was that you bought the thing at 8 cedis, so you are paying at 8, but you are saying no, because the currency is increasing, you have to price based on the expected dollar. So are you saying that based on what you've seen for the past 2 weeks, you expect the cedi to keep appreciation against the dollar into the Christmas season?
Yeah, this is what we are expecting, because I can tell you that suppliers for the festive mood has already been done. We have already made purchases for supplies for the festive mood. So even if we are going to make any purchases again, then those purchases will come after the festive mood. But you see, what we are saying is that, like you rightly said, maybe the time that we made those purchases, the cedi was a little bit higher compared to as against the dollar. So now that the cedi seems to appreciate a bit, we should try as much as possible to strike a balance. Not that you sell in a way that you will lose, but at least you don't try to you don't expect to make so much profit, but you should try and reduce their prices so that whatever losses that you might have incurred during the time that the cedi fell drastically, at least you could be able to also gain something to complement that, but not that you reduce the thing to the extent that you still run at a loss. But those price increase that people were making, and then were making astronomical profit. This is what we are advising our members, that at least they should try.
But Clement, how sure are you that they'll even listen to you? Because they will say, "Me na make up 2 million free Dubai and not China. It be seen in store. Who to be when I see me reaching me price. Now how I sell my way if I won't what are you?"
Yes, we know that this question will definitely arise, but it's something that we are appealing. We cannot force anybody to do something which will not be of his or her interest, but at least, since we are building a country together and we all find ourselves in a situation that I think if we try as much as possible to do something, it will all help us. That is why we are appealing. We are not forcing anybody, because like you rightly said, I am the one who has gone to make my purchases, and therefore, if you appeal to me that I should try and adjust my prices, I can choose to do it or not to do it. That's one you have the right, to determine whatever you want to do. But it's an appeal. It's an appeal that we are making, that at least we should also take the plight of the consumer into consideration, because we all know that the Ghanaian consumer, has been overstretched for quite some time now. And so if there's a situation that we have, some small windfall, we should try as much as possible, to share. And in a situation that we are about to enter the Christmas mood, at least we should also take the plight of the consumer into consideration, so that at least people can be able to, make purchases for them and their family, to have a joy of the Christmas.
Mr. But I'm happy you mentioned the fact that somebody will say, I've gone to buy my products and I'll price them the way I want. There's this general perception that the Ghanaian trader loves profit. The Ghanaian trader wants to make a lot of profits. They like profiteering. I mean, what will you say to such an assertion?
It is not always the case.
It's not always the case.
It is not always the case.
But it's sometimes the case.
But because I can tell you, there's a proverb which says, "If you be a mensa womb," you cannot rule out the fact that people will, one way or the other, try as much as possible to make astronomical, profit. That's one, you can't rule that one out. It's there.
Clement, this one, they are saying it's not a Mensa issue. Somebody even said, for example, that when you go to the same market, the Nigerians sell cheaper than the Ghanaians. That is why sometimes the Ghanaian traders are sucking them. In fact, somebody sent me a message right now and said he went to Abosso Kai, and a part that he got for 800 cedis in a Ghanaian shop, he will get the same thing for 500 in a Nigerian shop, which is one of the reasons why a lot of the Ghanaian people are chasing the Nigerians out of the market, because the Ghanaians like making excessive profit.
That is not true. There are two issues which have to do with this. One has to do with the quality of the product. I can tell you, if you go to a Nigerian shop and you are buying something there, you cannot compare the quality of that item to the quality of the item that the Ghanaian is selling. That is one fact. The number two has to do with the way and manner these Nigerians bring their goods to Ghana here. They bring their goods through the eastern corridor, and then they try as much as possible not to pay the right duties. That is number two. Even the number three had to do with even the issue of interest rate, the issue of VAT, and the issue of duties, which pertains in Nigeria. They bring the goods to Nigeria, clear the goods over there, and then transport the goods through the eastern corridor, trying as much as possible, to pass through unapproved ways, so that they wouldn't pay this thing, duty. That is number one, which contributes to the prices of the Nigerian goods being a little bit cheaper than that of the
But
Ghanaian.
Mr. Boateng, I don't think it's fair for you to say that Nigerian goods are not quality because hold on. Price is a quality. A price is something we can all verify. Quality is subjective. So if you come on and say, "Oh, Nigerian goods are not quality," what do you mean? How do you know? Have they done this? Have you done any research? Has Guta done? Has Guta done a study to say we analyzed 6 product categories and we realized that based on consumer feedback, Nigerian goods were less? Or you can't say that. The point you make about the Nigerians having access to cheaper credit may be true. Their banks are bigger. The point you make about Nigerians possibly bringing the goods into their country and having lower tax could be true, but even here, they still pay some tax, because if you are here selling in a shop, VAT is not a Ghanaian tax. VAT is a tax for selling goods in Ghana. So once you are selling in Abozokan, you pay VAT. So I think maybe you should do a study to find out what Ghanaians think about the pricing culture of Ghanaians, because a lot of people seem to believe that we just like making excessive profit. It reflects in our rent, it reflects in our interest rates, it reflects in our spare parts, it reflects in our food prices. It's not just limited to the trade sector of, say, spare parts. So it's not even Guta we're accusing. They're saying that the Ghanaian, for example, you go to a place in Togo, you want to rent a house. I'm not sure they'll ask you for 2 years advance. In Ghana, you have to pay 2 years advance. It's the same, it cuts across. It's a cross-sectoral point they are making. So I don't think Guta should take it personal and say they are accusing Guta people of being profiteering. Maybe we should study more into the issue and admit that there could be a problem with the way we price in Ghana.
Bernard, I have statistics to prove what I'm telling you, because most of the Nigerians doing business here have not even registered their companies and are not paying any taxes. Recently the committee on retail trade have been embarking on an exercise, to close some of these Nigerian shops, and this has come about as a result of a committee that was a joint committee that was formed between Guta and the Nigerian Union Traders Association under the co-chairmanship of one officer from the Nigerian High Commission, and then the Ghanaian side was chaired by Mr. Frank Ajekum, who is the Executive Secretary of the Ghana International Trade Commission. Look, when this committee was set up and the Nigerians were asked to bring companies of Nigerian businesses that are registered in Ghana and doing businesses here, do you know the number that they brought? They brought the whole Ghana, they brought only 100 Nigerian companies. 100 Nigerian companies. So you can imagine the number of Nigerian companies doing business here that have not registered, and for that matter, they are not paying any taxes or anything. So in that circumstances, if they are selling, definitely their prices will be cheaper than that of the Ghanaian who has registered for VAT and is paying personal income tax and paying all the necessary, taxes that he or she supposed to pay. So in that instance, the market will be not competitive, and then the Nigerian can take advantage and then sell at any price that he or she likes. So that is the reason why I'm making that assertion.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Clement Boateng. Clement Boateng is vice chairman of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Guta. Yes.
What I find funny is that people are sending messages to me. For example, they are telling me that Sky is right. All right, so I'll read a few, and then maybe we'll get some more comments from here. Bernard, I'm following the discussion, and I think Sky is right. The Nigerians always price lower than our Ghanaian people. Our desire to make too much profit is what causes this. Then there's another one coming in. He says, last couple of weeks, market women in Makola were apparently angry because the city appreciated. This Ghanaian mindset, Then, this person is an importer, doesn't agree with Sky, he agrees with me. But it says, a simple example, I bought a $2 million worth of goods in April. What? On a 90, it's an example, on a 90-day credit. Sold majority during the same 90-day period on credit to customers. If in May, my creditors amounted to 15 million Ghana cedis and stock value was 10 Ghana cedis, I can clearly see profit or capital of 4 million cedis in July or August, using 1 to 8 as the dollar exchange rate. In October, same credit of 20 million will only give me 1.3 million Ghana cedi, down from 10 million. How do I even break even the 2 million? Through my 10 million stock available. So it's basically saying that the depreciation is what affected them. That's what influences the way they price. This is an importer talking. Bernard, the issue we have, this is the issue we've created. Ghana is a Kalabulu economy where everything doesn't make sense. The pay and expenditure makes all of us magicians. The truth is everybody is trying to outwit each other, survive. Expenditure is in a comfortable lead with wages trailing behind. Bernard, to determine how good or bad the pricing is, compare cost of living in Ghana to any part of the world and see. By the time you compare wages and salary, you would understand what I mean by Ghana is a Kalabulu economy. It's an interesting argument. Toby Apeda makes the same argument when he compares the minimum wage in Ghana to that of UK and talks about the fact that in UK, when they raise the interest rate, it doesn't affect as many people because the main reason of raising interest rate is to encourage savings, and discourage spending. But in Ghana, it doesn't have that effect because Ghanaians are so poorly paid and their minimum wage is so low. So that it only tends to deprive people of their incomes. But that's his argument. A few more points on this. Kukui.
All right. So Aben says, Bernard and team, we don't have to accept the forward ever and backwards never narrative. We've pressured all the stakeholders to reduce the prices. We pamper them too much. Guta and GPRTU. We shouldn't be making excuses for them, please. This same lot were increasing their goods in minutes and hours. Okay? As Alex Duane, your friend in London, says, Ghanaian shop in Dalston doesn't have prices. That's a fact. Oh, a whole shop. This guy's really okay. Bernard, Sky is right too.
All right.
A lady sold a medium-sized bottled water product to me at 4 Ghana cedis, while it sells at 1 cedi 30 pesos or 1 cedi 40 pesos at wholesale. This caught the attention of a man who's also a dealer on the bus, who got annoyed and lambasted her mercilessly. It's about time we name and shame. These traders are simply insensitive. They don't understand price reduction, even if all indicators show that price must go down. I think it's time citizens demand for price reduction. Okay? My name is Bakayoko from Suhum. It says, good news is that our cedi is the best performing currency. I hope that it will transfer into the market for us to relieve some heat. Good morning to you guys, and great to hear Kukui's voice. Okay, good morning to you too, Bakayoko. Fitaba says, good morning, Bernard. Help me understand how currency depreciation rate is computed. We ended last year at 6, and we are now at 13, yet the depreciation is set to be below 60%. Okay. Good morning, Nathan. I was at Alaba and Kumasi this weekend to restock my shop. The prices were 1 to 3 cedis lower than my last purchase last month. Okay. Please inform Sky that in October alone, I made almost 200,000 Ghana cedis in losses. Am I supposed to write that off? My bank didn't. My bank increased the interest rate for a facility I took last year. Please remind Bernard of the City FM interview with the Malamata market on the prices of plantain and how she mentioned that most of her colleagues or market women just inflate prices. This was aired by City about 2 months ago. Okay. Bernard, I agree with Sky. The Ghanaian trader typically seeks avenues for profiteering. It is evident that Nigerians and other foreigners are ready to sell at lower prices than Ghanaians who have similar business sizes. The Ghanaian wants to make a huge one-off profit from you alone. I find it puzzling that they do not recognize that, like the Nigerians in Ghana, selling a lot at relatively reduced prices can be more profitable. This is Kwame in Dansoman. Okay. Good morning, Nathan and team. 2008 intervention is even too far to remember. Let's analyze the reduction of benchmark prices on spare parts and other goods implemented by government in 2017. Practically no effect on the market prices for these goods, unless we want to behave as if we don't know about this profiteering behavior. Why do the Ghanaian traders keep fighting the Nigerians and Lebanese?
That's a solid evidence.
It really is.
When they removed the benchmark thing, it didn't really have the effect.
Yeah, spare parts were still whatever price they were, even though they were enjoying a lot of tax waivers.
More
Okay.
comment.
Bernard, Nathan, and team, let me use Uber or Bolt and taxi fares as an example. I often order for a ride on Bolt or Uber just to see the fare. Then, if the wait time is long, I'll try to get a regular taxi. And I've noticed that even in high demand, when Bolt or Uber fares tend to be higher than usual, they're still cheaper than regular taxi. When you point it out, the taxi driver will give you a really flimsy excuse for why they have to charge about double the typical fare. I agree with Sky. It's just greed. This is William from Ashoman Estates.
Are we the only greedy people in the world? And if it's just greed, then I also want to aver that, see, the point about the Nigerian. So let's use Clement Watkins' example. He says a Nigerian guy gets the goods from Nigeria and it's cheaper. Why is it cheaper in Nigeria? Because he pays less duty in Nigeria. The guy setting the duty in Nigeria. So why are we blaming Watkins? Why are we not blaming the guy setting the duty in the parliament? Because if you can bring a good into Nigeria and the duty is cheaper than Ghana, the trigger for the Ghanaian trader is the duty. So my point is that if you are blaming Ghanaian pricing culture for all of us in general, it's fine. But it's not just the trader. Because the tax and the duty is also a price. That's somebody's setting and it raises the cost of doing business.
Hold on, Bernard. You see, when you go that way, you're going into issues of international trade, and it has its own implications.
No, it's in relation to the guy saying that the Nigerians sell
cheaper. Let me
cheaper.
explain. Because the fact that you imported goods from Nigeria means that a certain policy applies there. If you move the goods from Nigeria to Ghana, there will certainly have to be an impact from Ghanaian taxes because we don't have a common market.
Yeah, but he's alleging that the Nigerians...
No, so it can't be a valid point.
You are not listening to it. The guy is not saying that. I am saying that if we say Nigerians sell cheaper, and you are using the argument say Ghanaians are expensive, I'm saying that maybe they sell cheaper because they have a lower import duty to pay.
No, you see, that's what I'm saying.
And that is verifiable.
You also mentioned how they moved.
No, let me explain. You see, there's a difference between a common market where a good... No, I just want to explain. The reason is that, let me give you a typical example. If you go to the European Union, there is a common tariff regime that operates across the...
Yeah, but we don't have that in Ghana.
See, that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand it. I'm saying that why should... Sky, I'm saying that if I buy a phone, the phone is $40 in the US. The Nigerian average import duty is $2 and Ghana is $4. And I'm saying that you cannot tackle the Ghanaian retailers selling this at $34 if you don't tackle the fact that the duty the Nigerian pays on the same Apple phone in the Nigerian port is cheaper than the duty the Ghanaian pays.
But what I'm saying, is that the Nigerian is not selling it in Nigeria.
But the Ghanaian is arguing that because he bought it and brought it through an inapproved route. So you see,
that's the argument they are making. That
so he's able to sell it cheaper.
Oh, okay. I mean, if that's the argument, that okay. I mean, if that's the argument, then
that's what
I thought they were making.
They're able to sell it cheaper. You have somebody on the line.
Yes, let's speak to Apia Kusi Adumaku. He's West Africa director at CUTS International, and he also gave us a few thoughts on pricing and on all of that. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the City Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Nathan.
Great. Many thanks for joining us. I'm sure you've been following our conversation. Your initial thoughts on this, on whether or not the pricing culture in Ghana is just crazy or a little out of order. That's how come you have people selling at all kinds of prices. And a lot of our listeners seem to believe or go along with Sky, who says the Ghanaian trader is driven by a lot of profit.
Yes. Thank you very much, and good morning to all the listeners of CBS this morning. I think the issue of Ghanaian pricing culture has become endemic among most businesses. And this explains why Guta and some Ghanaian businesses do not want to find Nigerian traders in their commercial areas because there is evidence to suggest that even Nigerian businesses are able to sell lower than the Ghanaian businesses in the marketplace. That is one. And one thing we've also known, and these are also backed by research, is that the Ghanaian businesses also want higher rate of return on their higher margins on their products that they are selling. And again, I'm not that old, but I've followed the market for many years. And one thing I've seen is that in Ghana, prices never recovers. And if you look at what Sky mentioned during President Kufuor's time, when the tariffs were reduced at the port to let goods go lower for consumers, most businesses were not willing to pass on their savings on to the consumers. And now that we have seen the cedi also appreciating against the dollar, over the weekend I went to a couple of shops trying to buy some items. And when I went, I told them that please, by the dollar, the cedi has appreciated against the dollar. And they told me that, oh, this is an old stock. Meanwhile, somewhere October and September, when the cedi was facing its adversity in the market, people they were selling old stock at new prices. So you see the dichotomy or the hypocrisy or how most businesses will want to price. And I think it's very cultural. And I think we need to have a strong discussion on how pricing should be. Of course, we live in a free market, but free market doesn't give people the free way of doing things. When you go to most countries in Europe and America and Asia, they have regulators who also police the market to ensure that business conduct is fair and justifiable. But in Ghana, I think government is not doing anything in the non-regulated sectors. It's only the regulated sectors where we have NP regulating the fuel prices to ensure that they sell within a certain threshold. But when you come to the traditional market, where about 70% of our transactions happens, you see that it's been left as a jungle and people just price their goods at will and whim. I mean, goods in Ghana are one of the most expensive across most countries that I've been. And if we don't work towards bringing price of goods down, businesses will not find Ghana a place to do business. Why is it the housing prices in Ghana are one of the highest across Africa? Meanwhile, you go to even Europe and America, at the heart of New York, you can get a 4-bedroom apartment to buy for less than $300,000. But you come to Accra here, people are selling 4-bedroom apartment for, $500,000 or even $800,000. So there's this kind of endemic thing that we need to get over it. Until we do that, Ghanaian consumers will continue to suffer from the iron feet of oppressive pricing that most businesses are kind of unleashing on consumers. Bernard.
Fine, you've made very valid points, but you're an economist, right? Are there not underlying macro drivers of the high price environment? So, for example, Ghana's inflation rate is 40.4%. I know economists don't like comparing inflation across countries, but apart from Zimbabwe, I'm yet to see any country with a high inflation rate like Ghana. Interest rate, the monetary policy rate is now 27%. Bloomberg did a check of about 15 countries last 2 weeks. Ghana was the highest apart from Zimbabwe. All right, we know the peculiar problem Zimbabwe faces. Again, you come to the depreciation of the currency. Almost 60% depreciation in the past 8 months. All right, now if you look at all of these macro drivers, and the truth is that we don't produce a lot of things here. So if every country is exposed to the dollar strengthening, Ghana is more because we are more import dependent than most of our neighbors. Now, should we not allocate those factors more and then probably give a 5 plus or minus behavioral, unexplained behavior? But if you start theorizing and saying it's the Ghanaian mindset, it's the Ghanaian behavior, I'm not sure you can solve it. Then you are also giving you are giving policymakers an excuse, because I think the policies they make, for example, you keep raising interest rates when your inflation is cost push, you are going to create a high price environment. Your tariffs, you want to import a car from US, the amount of duty you pay on the car, it doesn't make any sense. So the government policies set the signal for a high price environment. Just and so whilst behavior may be part of the argument, is possibly the secondary or tertiary issue. It's not a core issue.
Yeah, Bernard, I agree with you. I've always held the position that the Bank of BOG's approach in fighting inflation is not the best. It's not grounded in evidence. That has also culminated in how prices are moving in this country. And of course, there are lots of things that government needs to engage broader stakeholder to look at what needs to be done after trying all this inflation targeting approach and it hasn't worked. That thing, I think that the policy side, the government, the supply side needs to do more. Government side needs to do more to look at all those things. Of course, prices at the port is very high, but let me tell you something. Recently, a friend of mine bought a trip of sand. Sand is not imported from Jamaica or Europe or America, but the rate at which the price of sand is even going up, it will even amaze you. All because the sand millers are saying that, because prices of other things have gone up, so the sand that God has given it to us for almost free, people are just trying to increase the prices. So I think, Bernard, we need to have a broader conversation on the pricing levels in Ghana so that we can identify all the problems and then we can work towards solving them, not just trying to pick one side and leave the other side. Government is a factor. Even at the port, for example, how the dollar rate is used and every week it is changing, so you expect the price of goods that you apply at the port to go up. That is something that we can have a conversation on. Is this the best way? If we want to tame inflation, government must also be willing to sacrifice certain things to be able to bring inflation down. All these conversations, we need to have those conversations. But it appears there has not been any attempt by the leaders of the managers of the economy to kind of talk about these issues because government is only concerned about its revenue. Of course, you can get your revenue, and then you end up creating inflation that wipes away people's savings and also make cost of living so expensive for people. And I hope
I get that, but I'm sure the sand seller will say that he transport the sand using diesel, and within the week you were buying the thing, diesel had gone up from like 14 to like 23. So he could say that diesel could be the cause. But I'm coming back to the issue of pricing. You are into customer service and consumer protection advocacy. Does it strike you as odd that in most shops in Ghana, prices are not displayed? And is that a policy issue, a behavioral issue? The fact that when you go into a shop, of course, when you go to certain shops, which are more international, like Palace Mall and things, you see the prices. But when you go to a typical Ghanaian shop, they just put the goods there. And then you say, where are he? Then you say, 20 cedis. Where are he? So who say shoot now? Who say obi or kwase? Because say we 50 cedis. But say we need to take across we 25. So is it cultural or can a policy insist that every shop must display price as a starting point?
Yes, I think the policy can do that. I mean, I think this is also in the draft consumer protection bill. When you go to some countries, for example, in India, where I've been there a couple of occasions, every product that you find in the market, they have written RRP, recommended retail price is there. And so it tells you that this is the recommended retail price. But in Ghana, because we don't have the consumer protection laws and all the relevant laws to police the market, we have left the market to go on the side of the supply side. Until we get some of these things right, consumers will always not get the best when they go to the market. I mean, when you go to the shop, as you said, prices are no longer being quoted on the wall until you take it to the teller, and the teller will look at it and say, is this? And sometimes even there are some shops, when you go, they will tell you that the price in the system is more overrides the price that you saw at the shelf. That's also illegal because a person might decide to pick an item because of the price that he or she has seen on the shelf. But now the person brings the thing to the teller says that no, it is not like it is, let's say 20 cedis more, then it is more like misrepresentation. And these things is happening across the country and nobody is talking about it because, and I blame the government, for many years the consumer protection bill has been there, nothing has been done about it, and so business businesses are kind of abusing consumers on this side in terms of this pricing behavior, just flipping prices around.
All right. Okay, I think we can wrap it up here. Thank you so much. That was Apia Domako. He's with CATS International. He's a West Africa.
They're working on the consumer protection law. Apia is really doing some good work there. Yes. Apia, when you publish the article, please send it to me. Even though I don't agree, I'll still read it.
You see, that's the space I'm very much interested in.
Okay.
Because that's right. And I think I would have to get in touch with Apia so we do some work in that area.
Because he's coming from economics, you are coming from law.
Yeah, exactly. Because legislation will play a huge part in it. In the UK, the legislation is that you cannot sell anything in a shop without previously displaying the price. So the price must be there, and then you must build into the price the taxes, all the taxes, including VAT and all the related, even if it's council tax you're adding on it, all of them must be added to it. So it gives the price fixed. So when you go there, it is 10p or 20p. When you pick it, you go to the teller. The teller is not going to give you a price that's different compared to what has been displayed. Yeah. I think that is where legislation should go to, because what it does is that it also brings certainty to the government. Because if the government people tax people come into the shop, they know that, okay, your stocks say that you collected X amount or imported X amount of beans into the country.
Yeah.
You sold X amount at this particular price. Yeah. So this means that you must certainly pay X amount to the government.
Yeah, man.
But in our case, because we do not have a fixed pricing regime or the price is not published, if you go inside the shop and you say, okay, how many bags of rice did you import? You will say, okay, I imported 5. Okay, how much?
So you are basically saying there's a lot of dishonesty.
Oh yeah, that's right. And what happens is that it impacts government's tax collection, because you cannot say with certainty at what price he sold the thing and how much you should take from him, because VAT depends on how much.
But I keep going back to the argument. Is it dishonest traders or dishonest society? Maybe it's dishonest society.
Well, I mean,
because if the society is built on lies and we are all not telling the truth, this is what happens. But I am just worried that we want to sort of blame our traders, because this is, for me, historically, it's not a good thing. Somebody does a coup and they say people are hoarding goods. They go to market and start beating people because they say it's the traders. Meanwhile, your average tariff rate on your port is higher than all your neighboring countries. So why are we not lashing you too? Okay, so for me, I agree that there is we are in a high price environment caused by a multiplicity of factors. But isolating the Ghanaian trader and blaming them is where my problem is, because it leads to a lot of inimical decisions and unnecessary victimization. And I also think that the government needs the moral right to ask for people to lower their prices. They themselves, how economical are they in their decisions in terms of their splurging and their spending? Okay, so if you are paying people ex gratia of fat amounts, you've increased. When I started understanding democracy, our parliament had 200 people. Now we are 275. I mean, has the country's population increased by that factor? You have increased the parliament numbers by a factor of almost a third. Our population hasn't grown by that necessarily. Okay, so if you do such a thing, you increase taxes every day, and then come around and tell me that, we should blame the Ghanaian traders profiteering. No, I'm sorry, I won't accept it.
Okay. All right, guys, let's just take a short break, right? When we come back, we go through a lot of your comments. Your comments are welcome on 0549 986 996. This is the City Breakfast Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Bronya, hey, high sense, Bronya, don't call me. High sense, Mobi Biara Frishapo. Every 15th December, I come 8th January. Hey, high sense, Bronya, don't call me. And one more son, Yama Wyating. Nasu Udonti. High sense, Yatin Yamani now to say who? Yan Shama Undi Bronya no Wissibia. And to Uber Raya showroom. When a dear, a yo Pia pocket level. Showroom Yamanina. Aya Bronya, don't call me. TV, fridge, freezers, air conditioner, smartphones, sound system, and it be beer or high sense showroom beer. Aya high sense Bronya, don't call me. And my baby and Tetel, and Kwane here. So high sense D.O.B. Bronya, no feeling. Every 15th December, I come him 8th January. Aya high sense Bronya, don't call me. High sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Each
Each year, 18,000 children are born in Ghana with sickle cell disease, and 1 in 3 Ghanaians have the sickle cell trait. Many discover their sickle cell genotype only after the birth of a precious child with the condition. But do you know that sickle cell disease can be prevented? It starts with knowing your genotype. Do you also know that sickle cell is not a death sentence? With early diagnosis and the right medical care, some are living to celebrate their 90th birthdays. That is why the International Sickle Cell Center and Airtel Tigo are pushing the Touching Lives initiative to raise awareness. My name is Dr. Mary Anson. Get tested to know your sickle cell genotype. To learn more, visit www.iacc.international.
This initiative is brought to you by the International Sickle Cell Center, ISCC, in partnership with Airtel Tigo Touching Lives.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country? The most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food. Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, dazzled by the sounds of Abiana and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course, Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We're changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Ain't no party like a city party, because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Dates: Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue: La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time: 8 p.m. Dress code: it's an all-white affair. Get your platinum, diamond, gold, and silver table bookings and seats by calling the hotlines 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. The Situation Outdoor Party is sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Series, Doritos, and Lay's, and it's supported by City FM and Ghana Weekend. It's powered by City TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
They came from the north, south, east, and west to converge at the center of the world, Ghana, to witness the most exciting Ghanaian cultural event in December. It's happening again. Taste of Ghana 3.0. 2 days of thrilling art, authentic sounds and rhythms of Ghanaian traditional music and dance, a range of delicious Ghanaian cuisine, and a rich fusion of Ghanaian culture and tradition. Join us on the 23rd and 24th of December at the Independence Square from noon each day as we enjoy from top Ghanaian artists and everything that celebrates our heritage and uniqueness as Africans. Taste of Ghana 3.0. To participate, visit tasteofghana.org to book a ticket now. To sponsor or exhibit at the event, kindly call 0244-855-406 or 024-362-2034. You can also follow GIPC Ghana on all social media platforms for more updates. Let's rep GH and celebrate our culture in grand style. Taste of Ghana 3.0. This event is brought to you by GIPC in partnership with Ghana Tourism Authority and supported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Information, Ghana Export Promotions Authority, Ministry of Finance, and the Diaspora Affairs Desk at the Office of the President.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
Welcome back, 927. This is still the City Breakfast Show. You can send your messages on 0549 986 996. We'll get back to those messages in a bit there. But let's talk about other interesting things. The Institute of Directors Ghana is partnering the Bank of Ghana and other key stakeholders. And they are launching a newly created National Corporate Governance Code. The National Corporate Governance Code. Very interesting. Now, it will serve as a unified national corporate governance reference for good corporate governance for all stakeholders in Ghana. Very, very important stuff. All right. Now, to talk more about that, I've been joined by Reverend Mrs. Angela Carmen Apea, who is Vice President of the Institute of Directors Ghana. I also have Clement Redu, who is CEO of the Institute of Directors Ghana. And I have Dr. Rejoice Foley, who is a Project Manager, National Corporate Governance Code. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the City Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
How are you doing? I trust you're fine.
Super well.
Great.
You are too.
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Reverend Apia, let me start off with you. Who are the Institute of Directors Ghana? What do you do? For lots of people, I'm sure they didn't even know such an institute existed. So what exactly are you into?
Yeah, you're right about that. So the Institute is a professional organization. It's a professional group, just like all professional organizations are, and we champion director interests. So when we talk about directors, we are talking about executive, non-executive directors, those in public and private spaces. And we do this on three fronts: advocacy, we do training, and we do research in corporate governance. And the main business is that we want to have sound governance across board, not just for individual directors, but for the nation as a whole.
I see.
Thank you.
Wait, good. That's wonderful. So essentially, you are the body that, just supervises directors, what they do, you guide their work and all of that. It's interesting you've mentioned directors. So they are very keen in corporate governance. Dr. Foley, let's talk about the code, the National Corporate Governance Code. What's that about?
The National Corporate Governance Code is a unified code that has been developed by the support of other stakeholders and the Institute of Directors to enhance practice of key principles, values, and policies that will give growth and that will help economic growth and development of our nation.
I see.
Yes. So this code, though there are other sectors that have their singular codes, this is a consolidation. And it aims at unifying all other codes that will serve as a common guide to public and private institutions.
I see. So let's talk about how important this code is to businesses, and then for the entire country, how important, why should we even have a National Corporate Governance Code in the first place?
Yes. As you earlier said in your intro, it's a unified code. So many countries have tried getting a national code. When it comes to the European countries, we have countries like the UK, we have in the United States as well, we have US, they have their national codes.
Okay.
Then in the African region, we have about 19 countries that have their national codes. And Ghana hopes to be the 20th. The main aim is to minimize the risk of all other disruptions that we face as a nation of corporate entities not meeting the required governance ethics, principles, and directives. So we have cases that happen where some banks happen to, go down the drain, collapsed, to say bankrupt, because certain key principles were not followed.
I see.
So that is one of it, just to minimize this risk.
Okay.
Secondly, it helps to ensure and facilitate economic growth and nation development.
Okay.
There are so many benefits that it will give us.
Okay.
And because we did a collaboration with other stakeholders, I'll say as a nation, it has brought us together and it has helped us to collaborate and add value to our institution as Institute of Directors and the other stakeholders that we have engaged. So it's a give and take affair. though we have codes for corporate and private, the informal sector has somehow not been included.
Okay.
And this code, for the first time in this nation or country to say, it's guiding the informal sector, like SMEs, for them to also know how to go about this corporate governance, guide them, the principles they need to follow, the values they need to take into consideration to manage their businesses in the right direction.
Great. I'm happy you mentioned SMEs. The informal sector is a huge part of our economy. And very often when we do these things, we forget about them and think about the structured the companies and also. I'm happy at least they will have a guideline, a guide as to how to run their businesses. Great. Let me bring in Clement. Clement Redo is CEO of the Institute of Directors. Clement, let's talk about the event itself, the launch. When is it happening? Where is it happening? Who's attending? Who's organizing it and all of that?
So thank you. The event will be held at the Kempinski Hotel tomorrow. We're having a whole day event. So it starts from about 8 o'clock to about 3. It includes the launch of the code. We did expect the President of the Republic of Ghana to be there. I believe he's designated someone to be in his place, but then we're expecting the President to launch the code. Okay. In addition to that, we do have our stakeholders coming in, the UNDP, we have others from the Bank of Ghana, a major partner in this whole endeavor. Some banks are coming in. So yes, it's going to be a very eventful day, and we hope that CTFM will also be part of it.
Great. Who should we expect, or who can go, or who should be present?
So this is strictly by invitation, and we have all our stakeholders coming in, of course, those representing the government, those representing the corporate sector, particularly the banking, the oil industries. And we do also have our own members who are coming. Remember, our members are mostly directors, and they represent quite a large spectrum of businesses across this country. So strictly by invitation, we're expecting about 200 people to participate in this event tomorrow.
Great. So, away from the launch itself, what other things will be happening?
So after the launch, then we now have to take the code to the road. Right. So we have to disseminate that information and create that awareness. Even apart from SMEs, we're clearly aware that even in bigger groups, well-established corporate bodies, how to even form a board, it's a problem. Who gets onto the board? There are several regulations that define who should be a member of a board. The Bank of Ghana has that. The security exchanges have that. So who is eligible to be a member of your board? What is your board structure to be in terms of looking at governance?
Okay.
In terms of the risk that we have, what are the reporting guidelines? So we'll take the code to the road. Nationwide, we'll focus largely on all the sectors, the SMEs, and also other, of course, big stakeholders together with our sponsors. And we believe that after that, we should have, a better system of governance such that if an SME says, they say, hey, I just realized that we need a board of directors as per what the law says. The second question is, who gets onto the board of directors? Could it be a family member? Do we need to have a board secretary? Who are we reporting to? So these things are what we are taking to the road as part of the code to disseminate and create more awareness on how our corporate sector needs to be governed.
Okay. So talking about taking that to the road, you'll be having you'll be interacting with a lot of.
So there's going to be quite a number of information sessions. There's going to be some workshops stimulating, the idea of the growth, the risk management. The IOD would have a lot of training for some of these members. Our chapters in other regions, Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, Tamale, would have sessions there, and stimulate the whole idea of getting this corporate governance code. We're also working actively getting it as a bill passed by Parliament. So pretty soon, that will be the second part of this to get the Parliament to pass it so that it now becomes a bill that directs and dictates the way our corporate governance appears to everyone.
Great. So you want to take it all the way to Parliament. Wonderful.
Yes, we are working on that, and we've gone very far. Yes.
I see. It's wonderful news. Final words. This is very fascinating, very interesting. Final words before we wrap it up.
All right. So if I may set it off. So final words, we are expecting all and sundry to join if we are able to get our acts right, we should be the beneficiaries of what we own as a country. And after sitting here, we should not only attract investors right, we should be doing the right things for them to come marry us and stay. We don't want divorces. And then we get a very beautiful marriage partnership going on. Apart from that, tomorrow we'll also see other events like induction of new members. We are also doing the 5th edition of the IOD Corporate Governance Excellence Awards, which seeks to celebrate individual and corporate entities that are championing and doing ethical business, just by way of encouraging them. But we want a critical mass. So just as we are working with other stakeholders, SIGA is with us, Bank of Ghana, civil societies, head of civil service, public services, all of them, we want everybody to come on board. So we build our nation and we enjoy our wealth.
Great. Final words, Dr. Foley, Clement, does anybody have any?
There's a statement that Mr. President Roxanne Dogbegan, he says that this is the consolidating of the foundation of corporate governance in the nation. And the code, the development of this code, gives us the opportunity to put on the road a vehicle that guides and ensures good corporate governance for economic growth and nation development. So on that note, we thank all our sponsors.
Yes, including...
We have Bank of Ghana, we have VRA, we have GOIL, we have NIC, KPMG, SIGA, GIPC, a lot
University
of them.
of Southampton.
Yes. And we want more people to get on board because it's all hands on deck. It's a national affair. And we want everyone's voice to be heard.
Great. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Wonderful news for those who love corporate governance and want to learn how to run things right. Thank you so much. I had Reverend Mrs. Angela Carmen Appiah, Vice President of the Institute of Directors Ghana, and I had Mr. Clement Redu, who's the CEO of the Institute of Directors Ghana. And we also had Dr. Rejoice Foley, Project Manager, National Corporate Governance Code. So like I said, the code will be launched tomorrow at the Kempinski Hotel. And then just be on the lookout for all the interactions that will be done after the launch. And just plug in, learn something new, and learn how to run things right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming, and all the best ahead of tomorrow's event.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winnings. 1xBet, the most reliable service to make deposits easily with high odds and numerous bonuses on the spot. Register now at 1xBet.com.gh. Use promo code BESTODDSGH to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. Easy to use, easy to have a chance to win. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Melcom Big Discount Promo. Melcom is giving you extra cheers this Christmas season. Shop for a wide variety of discounted products including groceries, supermarkets, furniture, home decor, electronics, and many more. Keep the joy of Christmas alive with Melcom's big discount offers. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Man, I've just been busy these last few weeks. My company has asked me to attend this conference in Canada, scheduled for December of 2022. I submitted my application in March, but I've still not heard back from the immigration office. I don't know where to start. Time is ticking. If only there was someone to check in on my business visa status on my behalf.
If you retain our services at Askia Immigration Consulting Services, we can follow up to ensure the status and quick delivery of your visa application. No matter how busy you are, you you can count on Askia Immigration Consulting Services. Contact Askia Immigration Services on 0241 318890 or 0595 449054 to book appointments and to get assessment of documents. Askia Immigration Services on the 8th floor of the number 1 Airport Square building, Airport City.
I'll take you there.
Fine, anyone can become the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, anyone. Whether market woman, student, professional, even fisherman or cobbler. Hugo Flake, a real estate gaming.
Now, if you want to think about Canada or you want to head there, Contact Askia Immigration Consulting Services to help you discover anything you need to know about Canada. Anything and everything, actually. They are at 1 Airport Square, Airport City, Accra, located. That's where they are located, and the adjacent Holiday Inn Hotel. Call 0506 012 289 or 0241 318 890 or 0595 449 054 or send an email welcome@askiaimmigration.com. askiaimmigration.com. Okay, that's good. Get them on social, Facebook, Instagram at Askia Immigration, on Twitter at Askia Immigrate. They are the joy of greatness for your journey to Canada. Losing a loved one can really hit hard. Now the Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium, they've had your back when you needed it most, and they'll give you everything you need, and they'll take great care of your needs and give your loved ones a dignified farewell. Contact them on 0509 542409 or send an email info@lashibifuneralhomes.com. You can also visit their website lashibifuneralhomes.com for more info. Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium, dignity for the deceased, comfort for the bereaved.
Okay, now, gentlemen, does anyone here own a Mercedes-Benz? I mean...
Not yet.
We are praying hard.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things on my bucket list. Own a Mercedes.
To own a Mercedes. Own a Benz. Well, when you own that Benz, guess what? You can let your Mercedes-Benz be in top shape at Silver Star Auto. Silver Star Auto has over 25 years of experience in Mercedes-Benz. They're offering a fantastic end-of-year after-sales promo for all Mercedes-Benz owners. Enjoy free inspection of your passenger or commercial vehicle, 15% discount on genuine spare parts, and all after-sales service at competitive prices. Go to any Silver Star Auto workshop in Accra, Tema, or Kumasi. Now, the promo ends on the 23rd of December, 2022. Visit our website and our social media handles and book your slots. And how important is your health to you? Should be number one priority, right? How often do you visit a health facility? Well, you can go to Vic Dank Healthcare. It's a Ghana Health Service certified healthcare center. They specialize in kidney stones, hepatomegaly, hypertension, fatty liver treatment, and other things. Vic Dank Healthcare specializes in using 100% natural medicine in all treatments. Visit Vic Dank Healthcare on the Spintex Road behind the Standard Chartered Bank. You can also reach them on 0549 951 211. And Football. Well, some people enjoy coaching their football teams from the comfort of their couch. Yes. I know everyone in this studio is like that. Now, there are some who like to visit the sweet-smelling perfume shops in France from their phones. And some people appreciate comedy shows that make happy tears roll down their cheeks. Surfline knows all of this, so they're making our happy places easy to find with their fast data. All you need to do is top up more or get a Surfline device and experience countless uninterrupted hours of fun. You also qualify for a free voucher to Surfline partners like X-Men, Cheesy Pizza, Doughman Foods, and Body Basics. So whether your happy place is a front row seat at the Grammys, or you're like me, who enjoys visiting my crush's IG every minute, then Surfline is for you. Top up or get a Surfline device today. Surfline, better together.
Okay.
10 minutes to 10. Our messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. We're trying to go through a couple of them.
A couple of entrepreneurs have sent messages basically lamenting the difficulty of doing business here, and
so they justifying the high prices.
Well, kind of saying that it's not high, it's the basic they can charge, or the bare.
Somebody sent something that defeats all that. It says plantain and palava sauce at London restaurant is 180 cedis. Bernard, this is plantain and contombre and palm oil. There's a glass of plantain. Contombre is almost free. None of the components is imported. There's something wrong. During the lockdown, traders in UK who are reasonably increased their prices got arrested. They who are the apostles of free market do intervene when prices are unrelated to costs. What about us? So that's somebody's comment.
Okay, so let's say for this restaurant meal, okay, now for a restaurant that uses LPG, let's just say, look at how much LPG has increased in the past few months. That's one component of the cost. You've got to pay staff. They've got overhead costs that you cooking your plantain and kotimiri at home, it doesn't, do you understand? Like, they've got to pay staff, they've got overhead, they've got air conditioning to provide, they've got, whether maybe they're renting their space. Again, the fuel that they use to cook, all of those things factor into the price, right? Aside buying the material that they will use to cook. So I'm not to say it justifies 180 cedis for plantain and kotimiri, no. But there are other things, in the price build-up.
There's some people who feel that may be true, but there's still
a bit
of somebody said they buy a certain drug from manufactured in Germany. They buy it in Togo for the equivalent of 35 cedis, and they buy it in Ghana for the equivalent of 70 cedis. And both Ghana and Togo import the same drug, right? And I don't know whether the difference is in the port charge,
probably,
or just the Ghanaian. Although there are a couple of people who feel that we are not being fair to those who price. So, for example, somebody says prices are not displayed because in a volatile environment, prices change quickly. And it takes man-hours, that is resources and costs, to write and paste prices. Okay. Imagine changing prices on 1,000 SKUs daily. A typical pharmacy carries that many products. This is why some restaurants and other businesses now these days have digital menus which you can access through a QR code. You can't do it manually without incurring costs. Okay. Regarding rents, then he goes on to talk about a lot of things. Why rents are expensive, that we should drill down to the underlying causes, which are cost of funds, taxes, and failure of government to provide infrastructure. This is my point, actually. So the cost of funds is high, which we should deal with. Taxes are high, port charges are high, and then government doesn't have infrastructure, so people have to incur excess costs in just bringing the basic things to you.
Yeah.
Then you can add a few points around behavioral, but I think that the fundamental points are the Ghanaian economy is not well managed. It's not been well managed for a long time, and which is why things are so expensive. Yeah.
I think you got a point. I think you got a point. Okay. All right. Let's look at this message here. Good morning, team. I have a simple question. Assuming you buy a bag of rice for 50 Ghana cedis, which in this day and age, I don't know which bag you're Charlie.
70 or 100 or something.
Yeah, 75. The cedi falls, and you now purchase at 100 Ghana cedis. The dealer stocks up his shop, purchasing them at the current wholesale prices. Let's say about 100 bags at 80 Ghana cedis each, in order to sell at the current 100 Ghana cedi price. Now, the dealer sells about half of the stock. He's sold 50 bags, and he's got 50 bags left to sell. Now, the cedi appreciates, and consumers pressure him to reduce his price, when probably wholesalers have not. Okay? So the fact that he purchased them at a higher wholesale price and the profit on it is supposed to take care of utility bills, salary, etc. I want to know, what would you guys do? What would you have done? Or what would you think he should do in such a situation? How does he reduce, bearing in mind he still has some old stock and the fact that a lot of other things haven't reduced, for example, transport fares. So this is somebody who supports the trader.
You can average the remaining stock and the stock that's coming in and still give a little discount.
Yeah.
Or you could also say old stock, selling for, or reduce to clear or something. There are many ways of doing that. So we are not saying, I understand that business is not like you buy today, you sell everything today, but you know your cost build up. And yes, the cost of business is high in Ghana. So people use that as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, here's someone, Elikem, who says, I wanted to fix curtains in my rooms. I called on a Ghanaian interior designer. She charged me way beyond the prevailing price. When I called a Nigerian designer, his was so moderate.
Is it?
3 times less than what the Ghanaian charged me.
Is it?
This is Elikem's experience.
So did you use a Nigerian?
I'm assuming she did.
All right.
Yeah. Bernard and team, Nigerians know how to do business. Let's face it. They prefer to get 2 Ghana cedis on 1 million sales than to make 2,000 Ghana cedis profit on sale of 20 products. So a Nigerian will reduce prices for you so they can sell more. Ghanaian traders need to learn. This is
maybe
Edem.
You know, they have a bigger base. They have 200 million people and we have 30. So maybe in their market, if you even get a 1 cent profit, multiply that by the volumes. So
But they do it here as well. I think the point is that
maybe the volumes they've dealt with in Nigeria gives them that pricing culture. I don't know.
Maybe. Bernard, my boss who does wholesale and retail says we have a lot of Nigerian retail customers. I can tell you on authority that even they still sell at a cheaper retail price than us. It's a Ghanaian thing. Those guys don't mind making 50 pesos on something which wholesales at 10 Ghana cedis, especially to a first-time customer, to win you over. That's what this guy is saying. All right, Elvis in Tema says, good morning. I can testify to the fact that Ghanaian traders are very gready.
Who are the people sending the messages? They don't have traders in their families. So all these people complain about Ghanaian traders. They don't sell.
He says, I was buying an item from a woman in my area. Then a woman came and mentioned the name of a particular soap and said she's aware that the price has been increased in the market. Instantly, without any checks, the woman said she has also increased the price.
Just arbitrary price increase.
All right, Bernard and Sky are saying the same thing, but in a different way. I just want to say I'm in support of Bernard, that if the market is properly regulated, Mr. X will not sell at 20 Ghana cedis a product that others are offering at 8 Ghana cedis. This is forgive.
Forgive. You are on point.
Nathan and team, when is GPRTU going to reduce transport fares? Automatic pricing adjustment formula, Abi? Just reminding them that prices have been reduced at the pumps, so transport fares drive everything. Okay. But do you know the Obroni price? That is the price that is quoted for white customers by Ghanaian traders. If not, ask any white person in Ghana that you know. This is Koku from OUB.
So they charge them extra.
Nathan, talking about super profiteering, especially in Accra, on November 7th, I was in Adan. I bought adode, that's oyster, at 2 Ghana cedis in Adan. When I got to La Paz, I decided to ask for the price again because I saw a lady selling one of a similar size. Surprisingly, what I bought at 2 Ghana cedis was like 10 Ghana cedis here in La Paz. I was shocked. The supernormal profiteering is real in Ghana. This is David.
In Ada, adode is common food. In Accra,
it's a luxury.
If the facts are to be believed, the 8 cedi justified.
But did the oysters fly from Adan to, where did he say you bought it from La Paz?
But if you bring the oyster from Adan, but you are not transporting to one, you are not transporting it per oyster.
No, it's one trip that brings, a lot.
Everybody oyster in a different. Charlie,
don't wait. All right, in this World Cup season, don't just cheer and walk away without getting anything. Channel your passion and football knowledge to good use and drive home a brand new Peugeot Landtrek pickup, courtesy Silver Star Auto. Subscribe to Ghana Win 2022 via graphicwin2022.com. Read questions and send answers to score points. There are prizes for the 5 highest daily winners, 3 highest weekly winners, 2 highest monthly winners. And the promo is sanctioned by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, and all proceeds donated to a cause or a charitable cause. Peugeot from Silver Star Auto. Yeah, it's been a morning of discussing trophies, prize. We'll see about it.
We did go meet some as we buy things for the house.
Yeah, you have to buy stuff. You come across all kinds of interesting prices.
I want to buy fried egg. The woman said one is 30 cedis. So if I doing chibom, it's 6 cedis.
How much
so cut down on your chibom.
The woman just here at the junction. She was selling it at 1 cedi 50 pesos.
This is double the price.
Yes, he said the prices of eggs are expensive on the market.
So she's raised the price.
Stop taking chibo.
Drink water.
Water is expensive, Seth. 50 pesos.
Don't eat anything fast. All right, that's our City breakfast show for the morning. My name is Nathan Carr. You heard Bernard, Koki, Richard Delaska, and Godfred Akotuboafo. Show was produced by Fred Jabano and Caleb Kuda. Godfred Odum gave us help on technical. Coming up next is the news at 10. And How I Juicy has the news.